Welcome everybody. Ooh, yes, that's it. We are live. Good stuff. Welcome everybody to the latest episode of the Midweek Mix-Up podcast. This week, sponsored by Jesus wept. Sponsored by our new sponsor, Manscaped. Of course, we will get into that and details about our sponsorship coming up shortly. But first and foremost, we will get into the introductions. MrBadBit Joe will be with us momentarily. He had a dentist appointment beforehand that he had to get to, so he'll be here momentarily. Once he has arrived, he will jump straight in. Sean is having some technical issues this evening, but no doubt once he gets those rectified, he will be in as well. But before we go into anything else, let's get into the introductions. First and foremost, our special guest this week. One of two, of course, and that is Jordi from Xbox Era. How are you doing today, brother? What you been up to?
All good. Thanks for having me. Finally managed to get on. Long time listener and watcher of your podcast. Always lurking in the background. So yeah, thanks for having me.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. You're part of another awesome community as well in Xbox Era. That's done a lot of great work for the community over the years, and obviously both. On every social media front, whether it be the website, the podcasts, the Instagram, Twitter, is pretty much have it covered everywhere. So some awesome work you do there. Obviously for everybody who follows ourselves but may not follow Xbox Era, if you want to let them know kind of what they can expect from yourselves, and obviously you've done quite a bit, including like a history of Xbox hardback book that came out not too long ago.
Yeah, so I'm sure everyone saw it over just before Christmas. We released a Kickstarter for 20-year history of Xbox book, which we're actually putting together at the moment. Actually smashed the target by more than we thought possible. I think we were touching 50 grand by the end, which is absolutely insane. So if anyone here in the chat pledged, and you guys as well, thank you so much for all your support. We have got more in the pipeline that I can't go into, but we're always working hard behind the scenes. We've got quite a small team, but we've had a few new additions in the new year. So we are going to try and smash it out of the park in 2022. And you can just expect 50 grand. More of the same, really, reviews, the latest news, and streams. We try and smash as much as we can. So yeah.
Nice, awesome stuff. Yeah, it's obviously it's always awesome to see the rapid growth of Xbox Era, but there is some great work that you guys do over there. So it's great to see the positive side of the community, because obviously, as you know, thankfully there is quite a number of very positive kind of Xbox oriented podcasts these days, as well, as opposed to kind of trolls feeding kind of certain narratives, etc. I know, obviously, yourselves, the guys at Gamers Watch, Boom, Iron Lords, etc. It all really is about positivity and spreading positivity, and that's keeping it real, keeping it factual. And that's awesome to see. Absolutely awesome to see. What you've been playing anyway? Let's get to the nitty gritty. What you've been playing this week, Jordi? What you had a chance to play?
I've actually been smashing Rainbow Six Extraction. I'm enjoying that more than I thought I actually would do. I think it's really clever how they put that game together. It's not a game that you could really enjoy on your own. I don't think you do need a squad with you.
Yeah,
so
I've heard that.
I like the way the operators work. So if you die, your operators gets left behind, and then you've got to go and rescue it the next game. So there's always someone new to play with. So you're not always playing with the same operator.
Yeah,
and that there's a lot of content that I haven't even unlocked yet. So I think people aren't talking about that game enough at the moment, and people are expecting it to be like Siege. It's totally different experience. But other than that, I've just been picking off at Far Cry 6 and Hitman 3, which I picked up in the sale at Christmas. Both exceptional games as well.
Awesome stuff. I still haven't played Hitman 3 yet, and obviously you would have seen it. I'm guessing you've seen the Xbox Gamepass news and you were like, God damn it.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm not that disheartened about buying it, because
it's an awesome game.
A stunning game. Yeah. Hitman 1 and 2 were great, but this one it's got that extra touch, and even just messing around on it is just good fun. So even if you don't want to take it too seriously, I urge you to go and download it when you get a chance.
I've got it downloaded, yet to start it though.
I started it a week ago or so. It didn't click with me. The game is not for me. I don't know what it is, but I found myself just really not. The game, my problem probably was the game doesn't give me enough pointers on what to do next. And I was just walking around. I was stuck, for instance, in that level. I think it's the second or the third one, where you are in the big mansion and you need to find a certain file. And I was walking around for an hour through that mansion, and I had no idea where to find that file. And something like that just annoys me. And I dropped out because of that.
Yeah, it's understandable. To be fair, it's for me, stealth games are hit or miss. So I'm hoping this one clicks with me when I do start playing it. I downloaded that and Nobody Saves the World or something like that. I keep forgetting the name of it. Nobody Saves the World. I downloaded both of them at the same time, and the one I opted to play first was the indie title. Which is actually awesome. I'm looking forward.
It's really good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
Yeah, I played a bit of that as well.
Trying that co-op.
I love it, man. Yeah. I love it.
Reminds me a little bit of like a kind of a Castle Crashers-esque type of game, where it's so basic in terms of the moves and things you do. Like, it doesn't take any, like, there's no learning curve. It's like A or B, like do your attacks, or A or X, do your attacks, and that's it. There's no like difficulty in movements. It's pretty basic.
Which level are you now? Because I can guarantee you, if you get along a little further, it's not that easy anymore.
No, I meant in terms of the controls. The controls are like really straightforward. Like it's.
Oh yeah, the controls. Yeah.
controls are really straightforward. In terms of the enemy ramp, I've just got into the castle. I think you know which part that is. You go through several dungeons, you have to unlock certain dungeon things, then you get into the castle and you've got to work yourself up the castle. It's
the first shard. For the first shard. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You'll be in for some really fun surprises.
But yeah, I've been playing that, and obviously quite a bit of Pokemon Arceus Legends. So believe it or not, that game actually does evolve significantly over every previous Pokemon that I've played. Obviously now it's not a case of just like random screen goes black, you find a Pokemon. Now everything's just open in the wild. You can't fight everything at the same time. There's certain things that are far too high level to take on, that you've got to try and avoid. You can get damaged and you can get attacked, as well as the Pokemon, so you have to run away from things. But it's absolutely awesome. It's much better than I thought it was going to be, but it's diff. And there's obviously still room for maneuver. Certain things seem a bit bland. They've started putting little like fetch quest type things in there that can get boring. Some of them are good because you unlock special Pokemon, but other ones are pretty find X amount of things and bring it back to me type of fetch quests. So I think they still need to work on it, but it's a step in the right direction for the franchise, and I think this is the route that they need to go for further ones. And I think obviously a bonus would be to improve graphics going forward. The good news is that it is in the similar graphic style as the likes of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but not as clean. I think the image could be a lot cleaner, and maybe there's a little bit more to it. But it's the same graphical style as Breath of the Wild, which is good, because obviously Breath of the Wild is a very pretty good looking game for the Nintendo Switch. I was going to jump into the next one. Sean, welcome back. You managed to get everything sorted. How are you doing, brother? What you been doing?
I think so. I'm confused. I've just jumped in and then someone going on about not being able to find a file, and I was like, what game is he playing? I don't know. Anyway, I'm all right. I've been playing the new Rainbow Six game.
Yes.
Which it's fun, but it's very limited in terms of it's not really for me in the sense that I've been playing it solo. Although there is a solo mode.
Yeah.
There's only so far you can really go with it. I've done pretty much everything on it. And it's just that there's only a few achievements to do. The rest of it relies heavily on you getting good teammates, which with any randoms, we know that's extremely hit and miss. So I think I'm still debating whether I can be bothered getting the other achievements, or I'm just gonna delete it and get the file, just the file size back, because there's just some games coming out and whatnot. But like I said, I put 2 days into it in the space of just a little over a week. So I'm not going to say it's a bad game. It's just it is very heavily catered to playing with your mates.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I'm glad that they put a single player version into it. I mean, it's a lot harder. But yeah, it's an okay game. I've just got no mates. That's basically the long and short of it all.
What are we then? What are we then for you?
To be honest, it's the fact that obviously we're all on at different times. Like I'm usually on pretty late on. Shom's either really late or middle of the day, depending on what he's working and teaching hours and things are, and learning hours, depending on what he's doing at any given week. So Shom's on a different. Like Shom posted, I think you posted some PUBG stuff in the chat. I think it was like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning or something the other day. I was like,
oh yeah, it was me being toxic, so toxic. It was disgustingly toxic. It was basically me and my friend landed at Castle on, I can't remember the name of the map, the snow map.
Yeah.
And there was 3 of us, and the other player went down pretty much straight away. He landed in the wrong spot and got absolutely murked straight away.
Yeah.
And then so it was 2 on 4,
Right.
and we kind of funneled them down this little section, and I killed one, and then they started pushing. My friend killed the other, and I managed to pull back and saw by mistake that another guy was running across a rooftop. So we killed the other guy. I span round, killed the fourth person, and then we got down and did a little, the Russian leg dance.
Yes. Yes.
They crouched down. And it was a little bit,
Oh,
a little bit,
yeah.
a little bit dirty. Yeah, it was a little, but it was a fight we shouldn't have won. So yeah, but my body clock's been all over the place. So I have been up at till 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes. Not necessarily playing, just not been able to sleep.
That's fair enough.
So yeah, I've not had a great. I've not played too much. I'd probably say it's mainly PUBG, Apex, and Rainbow Six.
Things that are really easy to digest. You can just chuck it on and then jump straight off. Nothing that you need to...
Oh yeah, and I did a bit of Alan Wake as well. Chapter 3 of Alan Wake.
What, the remaster or the original? So. The remaster.
Yeah, the remaster. Yeah.
I was just wondering there. How is that compared to the original? I haven't played that.
To be honest with you, I can't remember the original too much in terms of comparing the graphics. I'm sure it's a bit better and running at 60.
Yeah.
But I only vaguely remember the story. It was that long ago, so it's kind of nice to go back through. And there's some bits where I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this bit. But there's other bits where it's kind of like, oh okay. It's the same with I've started the Mass Effect trilogy a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
where that came onto Gamepass.
Yeah.
And again, it's like I've played through all of them, loads, absolutely loads. But for the first one, I was like, I know the gist of what happens. I remember who the bad guy is. I know certain bits, but the intricate stories I've forgotten. So it's nice to go back through.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Just to recap your memory again and go through it again. Things that you have forgotten over time.
Yeah, it's just more the kind of like the side quests and stuff. Why somebody does something or whatnot. So yeah.
Awesome stuff. Next up, Broody Burger. How are you doing today, brother? What you been up to?
Doing great. Looking forward to an awesome show. Yeah, we are prepared for win here today.
Yes,
it's great to be on the show with Jordi. I haven't podcasted with him before, so looking forward to do that. Yeah, so doing good overall. And what I've been up to, well, I've played a little bit of Scarlet Nexus these days.
I'm glad to see outside of the cutscenes. By the way, which I also skipped. Like there's certain things we have to do. You have to do it when you get to a safe house where you have to just chat to them all inanely for about nothing. You do it to build up the characters, but just skip all of the stories. You're just like, I don't care about any of this.
Yeah. I do exactly the same. I mean, the combat itself and the gameplay mechanics are awesome, really awesome. Especially when you progress a little bit further in the game and you can combine certain powers of your character. It really feels good. And I know that a lot of Japanese RPGs do these intensive storylines and longer cutscenes, but in this one, it's really just reading. It's not even cutscenes. It's just like a manga comic, people chatting, and they are not even progressing the story. Yeah. It's just, how have you been? Yeah, I've been good. And you? Yeah, well, the weather is bad. And
it's based on anime.
Yeah, I'm not a big anime fan, so that's probably it. But the thing is,
I agree.
Really, I started the game and I was trying to listen.
If it was,
pardon me.
No, it's all right. I was going to say, if it was like you're saying, if it was progressing the story, these bits, fine.
Yeah,
but it's just like, oh well, I really like such and such over there. Sorry, I'm quiet. I'm sorry, I'm really quiet.
Oh, okay. I like the new hair color of hers. Stuff like that. It really is absolutely unimportant for the story because I was doing that in the beginning, and then I was starting to look at my watch. Well, and it literally is. You listen to 10 to 12 minutes of dialogue, and then you have 3 to 4 minute gameplay, and then another 10 to 12 minute gameplay comes. I said, F you. I'm not doing that. I'm really not doing that. I just skipped it, and suddenly I was enjoying the heck out of it. It doesn't matter that I have no idea what is going on. The gameplay is awesome.
So
graphics
you skipped
really
foreplay.
Nice.
You skipped the foreplay.
Yeah, I skipped the foreplay.
I
get right to the point. And then and now I'm having a blast. Playing
Full
it like
2 minutes.
This. So yeah, been playing that, and then of course my all-time my permanent addiction with H4.
Yes.
There's really hardly a day going by that I don't play a game, a match. Just yesterday, I did something that I'm very proud of, and I want to brag a little bit. So I'm telling it here. I beat the AI. I played 2 AIs against me on ultra hard, and I beat them. So I was really proud of that.
Yeah, that takes some doing. Because
Broody, Mr. Joanna Dark asks if you can do the review with those voices for Scarlet Nexus.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm probably not doing a review for that, but but I give my extra impression next week again, of course.
Yes, definitely.
And on tomorrow's show. So, yeah, no, that's what I've been up to. Yeah, and I've pre-downloaded, of course, Dying Light 2. I'm keeping my my pre-orders, even though some of the reviews are mixed. I'm still looking forward to it. The game looks gorgeous, and to be fair, the first one didn't get the best reviews either, and it was awesome. So I don't care about the reviews this time, and I'm just going to enjoy that starting Friday. Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Last but not least, until our other guest arrives, Chambalon. Not Chambalon, Vin. I've already been through Shom. Shom, do you want to go again?
Chamber Vin is also good.
Chamber Vin.
I don't care. I'm Chamber Vin. Want me to change it on the bottom?
How are you doing today, brother? Anyway, what you been up to?
Well, I was good because I was in quarantine and I could play a lot of games. I finished Final Fantasy VII Remake finally.
Yeah.
But yeah, today I had to go back to work because I was negative again, as always. So, but I had a great week. Sunday was a great day. I played with the guys from XPNL, Xbox Netherlands. We had the Sea of Thieves Community Day. We cashed in a shitload of chests. So thank you, Jerome, from XBNL, the Inflamer. Well done. Gained like 20 levels with the Reapers. We had a full server with only people from Xbox Netherlands. So 5 ships. It was really fun. I played Among Us with the Fleety gang.
Yes.
It was also really fun. That game is brilliant, by the way. Didn't expect it.
You know what it is? It is good. We had when we did the charity stream, we were trying to get the game working, and it caused a lot of issues with people with different servers, and it was telling people they were in the wrong server all the time and things. So I ended up just having to turn it off because it was just too much of a hassle. But the game was good when we were playing it, but it just took too much time to get it sorted whilst streaming. But it was just...
we just switched all to North America and then it runs fine.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was fine. So,
but it is fun.
Yeah, it is fun. So, and as like you, the same. Nobody Saves the World. I saw Pong Sol recommended on Living Split Screen before it came out. You know, with the list of games that when it comes out, Pong Sol said you have to try it. So I was like, okay, it's an RPG, looks fun, let's try it. But I'm addicted to it.
Yeah,
it's a really great game. The story is brilliant. It's really fun. I don't know if is it an indie title? Because
which one's this?
Is
sorry?
it indie or Nobody Saves the World?
Yeah, that's indie. Yeah, that's indie.
Okay, yeah, because I'm loving it. So, and I started Horizon Zero Dawn now.
Yes, you have. I've seen quite a few of your screenshots. I'm guessing you're loving
it. I've seen you again.
Yes, I'm
everywhere. You're in every game.
Yeah.
And I'd like to thank Aaron Greenberg for joining us today. Oh no, it's Jordi. Sorry.
me and Aaron are good mates. So.
Oh, I thought you were twins.
Look a bit alike.
I thought you were twins. This is Jordi Greenberg.
Yeah, Jordi Greenberg.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I think that was about my week. I think.
Awesome.
Ever played something else? Yeah, the Game Pass quest, of course.
Yes. So you've done the Game Pass quest to get your points.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I need that memory expansion. So, and this weekend it's finally arriving. And then we can make the video if it's bigger than the fridge, the PS5.
Yes. Yes. Is that you do a
It's
side by
arriving this
side
weekend,
jokey
so-
comparison? Yeah. Is it bigger than the
Yeah.
fridge?
So
No, I'm glad that someone finally gets a PS5 other than me here on the panel, so we can have some PlayStation discussions when Horizon and games like that drop.
I
if you-
know. You know what it is?
we can.
I'd love-
If you
I'd
you
love
don't
to.
time me out, then we can. But if you give me time out, you won't.
Nigh on impossible to
f-
find over here. Like nigh on impossible
Yeah.
to find.
Yeah, same here.
Hey, feel free to send me one. You know, if you want to send me one, I would
Yeah.
gladly play with you.
But-
But
We have a different plugin. You know the how you say this? Wait.
Socket,
Yes.
different socket.
Yes,
European.
we have different
It's
sockets.
all right. It's
Yeah.
all right. They work
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah,
we just
They
press the
work
other
over
hole
there.
down.
Yeah.
it's just a figure of 8.
No, no.
So I'll just take it out
I'm
my
not.
other-
I'm not allowed in the other hole. It's only exit.
Right, 2 seconds. 2 seconds. I've got something I need to do for that one. Oh dear.
Hey, there
Good
it is.
segue.
Okay.
That's it. That's it, Vin. You've got your first time out for today. Enjoy it.
It's not even from Boxenberg. How is it possible? Oh, well, did you see by the way?
Still well deserved.
Boxy, have you seen it by the way? We have a new discussion coming up.
What discussion?
We
There's
do?
new, yeah, there's new competition coming in soccer games. Pro Evolution Soccer and FIFA get competition from UFL. Have you seen it?
Oh
No,
I
what
have
is
not seen
what's
that.
UFL?
What
Yeah,
was-
new game.
It's a new game, yeah. See, Jordi knows. Jordi Greenberg, he knows. So, is that also
Yeah, it's
a
going to be a
timeout game?
free to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a free to play football game, and you've got about 5,000 players already signed up
Yep.
for it. So it's going to be a rival to FIFA, basically. So yeah, I think that's coming later in the year. So I'm excited for that one personally.
Yeah, same here.
Nice. Nice.
I think Broody as well, but he doesn't dare talk about it.
We'll see what it's about.
lost
To be- both of the football games have been very stale as of late, and eFootball or whatever it was called by Konami was an absolute mess, like from the start. So it's not even worth a discussion. FIFA's not. That's just been stale for years. Even the newest one doesn't do anything to advance from the previous. EA just
Well,
need to just EA, and thankfully now Activision is part of Microsoft, but EA, Call of Duty, FIFA's, all of those need to stop releasing yearly. Take a break.
But you know
and
what the
actually
worst thing was,
refine
Drew?
themselves. Yeah.
The worst thing was actually that FIFA 22 released pretty decent, but the more updates it got,
It's
the
always
worse it got.
Always the case. They always
Yeah, give
start
it.
off all right,
Give
and
it.
then they break it.
Give it, Broody.
Yeah.
Come on, Broody.
EA like to ruin games. don't
But
they?
you see, the thing is, though,
I'm here a little bit on the fence. Yeah, if we gave another timeout, because it's enough of the FIFA talk here. We want to talk real games. So
yes, yeah. Thankfully,
Oh, I can do that. Did you know that Project Dragon is in development at Xbox?
sure. Yeah.
Did you know? Do you know what
At
game it
IO
will be?
Interactive to be more precise.
oh, yeah.
It's skill bound.
It's definitely not scalable.
We've gone past timeouts now. It's removal.
Timeout.
Timeout. Another timeout. That's the second of the night. That's quick. It's a new record for you.
So what have you been playing, Drew? How was your week?
Like I said, for me, it's Pokemon and Nobody Saves the World. I haven't really been on the Xbox, to be honest. I've been watching a weird Japanese show on Netflix called We're All Dead Now or something like that. It was like a zombie game.
that
like
sounds
a
fun.
zombie. It's a zombie thing. It's, to be honest, it was quite entertaining. It was like same kind of production quality as Squid Games.
Okay.
So it was high end. It was good, well dubbed, of course. But no, it was really good. Really, it was an interesting take on the zombie thing. It was a school that gets infected, and it spreads throughout the school, and then one of the students manages to get out, and then it spreads into the city, and then they have to try and kind of quarantine everybody. And some people turn into half zombie, half human, so they can never die. So they've got to try and avoid them. So yeah, it's mad, absolutely mad.
Yeah, my wife just finished watching that.
It's what did you think of it?
I didn't watch it.
Oh, just
She
the wife
watched it.
did.
She can kind of speak and understand Korean to a okay level.
Oh, right,
So she
okay.
loves watching all that kind of stuff.
Sweet. So did she turn the dub off and go for Korean?
Yeah.
Ah, fair one. Yeah, I would have been
She
lost
still
if
has
I
the
did
subtitles on because she still has the subtitles on because there are some words that she's
Struggles
not
with.
quite familiar with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that's just awesome. If anyone's got any spare time, I mean, I think it's only one. I think it's only one season anyway. But I think it's maybe 12 episodes long or something like that.
Yeah, Korean dramas are normally one season. I think Squid Games they may do another one, but 90% of the time they're one and dones.
Yeah. Muppet, there was no spoilers. I was just telling you the basic premise. Don't worry, I haven't given any spoilers.
No spoilers here.
He's not Australians too anymore. Have you seen that? They eat pizza with beans in UK. What the hell?
What?
That's even worse than... He eats pizza with beans.
Oh no, none of that. None of that. Before we get into our official topics for today, we do obviously have to introduce our new sponsor, which is Manscaped. Now, before we discuss our thoughts on the products that we have got, and they have sent us some awesome products, I need to run through just some housekeeping before we go on. So support for Midweek Mix-Up Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels.
For the crown jewels, right?
Yes. Manscaped just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0, all across Europe. You heard that right, the 4.0, joining over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with their exclusive offers for you. So, of course, that's 20% off from ourselves with the code, as you can see across the screen now. And that is worldwide shipping as well for free. So the code is on screen with the code Midweek Mixup, MWMU.
And the razor comes with a light.
It does indeed, yes. We're going to get into the details of it. So first of all, imagine shaving with a sleek, well-designed and optimized trimmer that makes shaving your favorite time in the bathroom. We're going to make this fun. Let's be honest.
Is it still... Are we Telcel now?
We are one of the first people to try the new 4.0, and we are actually quite pleased with the performance of it so far. We're going to get into our impressions of the product soon and talk about them. The craftsmanship and details on the 4.0 are next level. The 4.0 actually comes with a wireless charging dock as well, which is lightweight and very easy to store. It is a USB-C charging dock, so that is absolutely awesome.
Shave while gaming.
Yeah. Woo! So when talking about it, we all obviously talking about the quality of the product itself. So with this, the actual blade itself, instead of having two metal blades, you have a more protected sort of plastic blade on the bottom, as well as the metal blade on the top on the trimmer itself, and that can help protect against nicks and cuts. So it is actually a lot smoother, far less chance to cut your balls when you're trying to trim them down and protect those family jewels. And we've all been in that time when we potentially try to trim down the family jewels and very scared to cut them. Manscaped engineered the ultimate groin and trimmer by focused on intelligent functionality and incredibly comfortable grooming experience. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce the grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. This upgraded trimmer now includes multi-functions on-off switch that can engage a travel lock. It also gives you the ability to turn the 400K LED light or 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. The Lawnmower 4.0 even allows to customize the trim through additional guard lengths, sizes 1 to 4. Did I mention the wireless charging? Of course I did. The new wireless charging system uses
USB-C.
electromagnetic induction, which can help the battery length last longer and keep it safe so it does not overcharge or undercharge. If you're shaving, if you've been shaving with the same nut trimmer, on your face, you've been doing it wrong. No person wants to end up with pubes in their mouth. It's time to get your own hair and body trimmer with Manscaped to make the me time the best time and enhance your confidence with some nice, smooth boys. Get 20% off, of course, with our code MWMU at manscaped.com. Of course, your balls.
Order within 10
will
minutes and get a
thank
free
you.
boxer short.
Indeed.
Woohoo!
But yeah, honestly,
and
guys.
that boxer short is top
Yes.
notch. It is the most boxers I have ever worn. So
Definitely, I would agree with that. Sean was the first one to get his. MrBadBit is here, just coming in time to talk about our ball sacks.
just coming in to talk about balls.
I saw.
Did you enjoy?
What
the
up,
balls?
guys?
Hello.
Yeah, everybody. I got like a sky cam you guys don't know about.
But
Yes.
one thing, Joe. There's no technical issues this time. You can just join in and don't have to wait in the background for like
just
1.5 hours.
Oh my god, guys. Today has been a day. Half of my mouth is numb
Oh, lovely.
because I went to the dentist.
Yes.
And they're like, oh yeah, we're just going to do the crown. And when I get there, they're like, we're actually going to do some of your cavities. And it's just like, we're actually going to get the worst ones out of the way. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, this one's going to numb half your mouth this time.
Yeah.
So if I'm slurring my words, well, we know why.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We'll give you a second to catch your breath whilst we give our impressions on the old Manscaped goodies.
Oh, okay. Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, but I
Just
think
as well, Joe.
we all mentioned. I don't know, Joe. Have you been offered the opportunity with Manscaped as of yet?
What?
Have you been
I'm
offered
sorry?
the opportunity with Manscaped as of yet?
Yes.
You have. Have you
Yes.
accepted
I can
that?
see it.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah, right up here, right up off the top. Yeah.
Oh, well, you, have you
They're
received it?
competing right now. They're competing with hairy shavers for me. I go, listen, the price has to be right. Manscaped.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not putting any old razor to the nutsack.
Oh yes.
And
No.
so it's a bidding war right now.
Awesome. Well, we can give our impressions to give you a little bit of a heads
All right,
up.
good.
First of all, we have to commend the boxer shorts because they are the most comfortable boxer shorts that I've had the pleasure of owning. I think everybody's on agreement with that one. They are ultra comfortable.
I think that was the biggest surprise for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're a massive upgrade. To lay everything on the cards on the
What,
table.
the balls or the boxer short?
Yeah.
I've used Manscaped before.
Yeah.
And the pack I got sent, they had some boxer shorts, and to be honest with you, they were all right. They weren't great, but these new ones are very, very good.
Yes.
I have a wardrobe full of another brand of boxer shorts, which I will not say because we are talking about Manscaped. And I would probably say, because I'm quite picky about boxer shorts and socks, I would say they're probably on par with these ones that are very, very good and very expensive.
Yes.
If that brand doesn't make razors, you can say it, right?
We can say they're on par with the best.
No, because we're talking about Manscaped, so I'll only talk about Manscaped. But the boxer shorts that they provided, the non-chafing ones variety, very, very good. Nobody likes it when you got your boxer shorts and they start riding up your leg.
Oh God,
and next thing you know, they're jabbing into your groin.
Yeah.
When you get ill-fitted ones or ones that are just old.
Yeah.
So they are very, very good.
This smells so good, eh?
Oh yeah.
The ball.
I have to admit,
Really? You stick that.
the one thing that I loved the most about the boxer shorts, like you say, was the fact that they literally don't ride up. They are like permanently emplaced in the same position all day, which is is beautiful. It's like not like.
I mean, I got mine last week and I haven't taken them off yet.
Christ Jesus.
It's a good job we've got ball deodorant then. So it's a good type.
So I don't know whether they're not riding up.
He's run out of that
to me. It's a good job. Yeah. Ball deodorant.
How is that not a timeout? Come on, that's disgusting.
Sorry, I was distracted by the chat, so you get enough timeouts during the show.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
And I think a few of us.
One.
A few of us have had the chance to actually use the shaver as well. Broody, you've used the shaver. What's your thoughts on it so far?
Waxy
Well,
walnuts.
I actually didn't use it for the balls. I used it
Exactly. For the face.
really for face trimming.
Why not
The-
both, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing. I'm not mixing things up.
Multi-purpose.
I'm not mixing those two. And I gotta say, I was honestly surprised, and I'm really not saying that about the just because we got the sponsorship right now. I was truly surprised about the quality of that product. It is super comfortable in the hand. It cuts through your beard really well. I'm impressed. It's a big step up towards my old trimmer I use for my beard here. So
Yeah.
So you,
can
your
adjust
balls
it up
or
to
your
30
face?
millimeters, perfect for me. And then
You
The
have
The
your
light
balls
as
in your
well
face
makes
then.
it really good for trimming around the neck area and trimming it properly.
Well, it
Yeah,
does. It does. And it is. Yeah. Obviously, it's got the torch on it, and everybody wants to see the torch. It is pretty bright torch. When
So
it turns on, it's on its
Am I
locked
the only
mode
one
at
who
the minute.
uses
There
it for
we
the
go.
balls then?
Jordi sat here going, I came here to talk about games. We're talking about nuts. This is not what I signed up for.
it's what you sign up for when you open that package.
But it's awesome. But no, it's the package itself that it comes with, and the one where you've got was a bundle that is still on offer at the moment, and of course with 20% off you get that for $80. But with that you get the trimmer, the wireless charging dock with the cable. You get the different lengths for the blade itself. You get ball deodorant. You get ball moisturizer. You get the boxer shorts. You then also get a carry case and a t-shirt and newspaper to put on the floor for when you're trimming your balls so that your hair does not go everywhere. And then you can throw that out. There we go.
No,
All
I
of that.
I keep it.
Yeah. All of that in one nice little package. And that's $80 for people in the UK. That's around about 60 odd pounds. But you get all of that for one nice little price there. And obviously that's with the code that we mentioned before, Midweek Mix-Up.
And what was that code again?
Yes,
What
it
was
is.
that code
Let's
again,
put that
Drew?
code back on the screen. Boom! 20% off.
So,
at
there you
Manscaped
go.
with free shipping.
You
promo
want to see
code
the result, by the way?
Midweek
Because
Mix-Up.
I used it like
Okay,
an hour ago.
it's,
You-
yeah, this
you,
is.
you want
this
to see the
is-
result?
This is.
It's
talking
time.
about?
It's time again.
It's time. It's your time out.
Time
You've got
out.
your time out. You've got your time out. There we go. Beautiful. Right. Dear me. We will get into our topics for today, but first, before we do so, let's actually introduce our second special guest of the day, MrBadBit, with his numb half of the mouth. How are you doing today, brother?
Yeah.
Aside from the numb mouth, I was in that position last week, so I know how you feel.
Man, it's very busy. Very busy. The past 48 hours we've been
Non-stop.
there's announcements to be had, just not yet personal and job wise.
Nice.
While at the same exact time, the whole news with surrounding PlayStation the past few days, and now also launching our Dying Light 2 review on our YouTube channel, which you all should check it out, and that'll also be on tonight's podcast as well. I've literally gotten only about 3 hours of sleep. So I am just I'm a different type of energy today.
Awesome stuff. It's what have you been up? What have you had the opportunity to be up to then? Obviously, other than was it yourself or was it Kyle that played Dying Light 2?
Oh no, that's all me right here.
Yeah. You were like,
That's all
oh,
me.
that was me. That was me. Every course it was.
And now I can finally talk about it because
Yes.
there's another game I'm playing, and I wanted to tweet out something vague, but I didn't want people to get confused with Dying Light.
Right.
Game's really fun. It's a really fun game.
Great.
Take out the weird and not weird, the more straightforward zombie story, the bad voice acting, and what you have is a really beautiful world with a shit ton of things to do that with every nook and cranny is unique. They're not recycling caves like in Skyrim. Every single building feels and looks different.
Yeah.
There's so much to do in that game, with the combat being pretty damn solid as well. Very much have been enjoying it, and may even go for the platinum there. So if you want to tune in for that, go to the Trophy Room on YouTube, or again tonight at the Trophy Room podcast, where me and Luke Lore from the Xbox Expansion Pass, which he sucks, we sat down and we had a little conversation about it. So that's really what I've been at mentally.
Nice.
I've been cramming that in so that I can
And everything
finally
else.
be prepared for February, the
Awesome
month
stuff.
of.
For anybody
Horizon Forbidden
interested,
West.
for anybody interested, oh, most definitely. For anybody interested, the link to the review has just been jumped into the chat there. We'll put it again near the end of the podcast as well.
Appreciate it.
So, obviously, definitely go and check that out. In terms of actual honest and very, very good, shall we say, community orientated and level-headed, non-fanboyist channels. PS Trophy Room is by far the best PlayStation-oriented podcast
Thank you,
there
man.
is.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I watch the
100%.
show as well for PlayStation
Yeah.
news. So.
Thank you. I appreciate that, guys.
It is.
That means a lot. It really does.
It's absolutely awesome. Keep up the great work. But anybody wants to get an honest and, like I say, respectful PlayStation understanding from a great PlayStation community, subscribe to PS Trophy Room. It's the best place for it.
Thank you.
But
Also
yes,
Spotify.
yes, exactly. Also on Spotify, I get notifications every time that goes live. I've got the little dinger on.
Excellent.
But yeah, so that will be there. But I want to get before kind of spoiling the overall review and things like that, because obviously there's a few of us here that probably will be playing Dying Light upon release or after release. What's your thoughts on the game then, without spoiling your review, your overall initial impressions?
My overall impressions is that, like, if I were to put this in a TikTok video, is that the story is just there.
Yeah.
Like literally there's multiple points where this story can end and it just decides on not to. And I don't get depressed because it keeps on going, because there's mechanics and pieces of the map that open up to you that you can traverse through.
Right.
And that's really the best part of this game, man. It's the parkour. Like there was one part where I'm literally hook-shotting, paragliding, climbing, and I'm just like, man, these guys need to make a Mirror's Edge.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, this feels so good. Well, at the same exact time, the combat is very much like, to me, I can mirror it back for people that want some type of comparison of that of like Elder Scrolls Skyrim, where it's like, whack a person with your R1 and then like for a heavy attack, hold R1, that type of stuff. It's pretty simple. It's pretty self-explanatory, but it goes a little bit more in depth the more skills that you unlock as you level up Aiden throughout the game. So I'm really enjoying it, because to me, the parkour, the exploration, the mobility of it is really exciting. It balances out what is just a very story and characters.
It seems to be it seems to be, and I say this because Halo's story is obviously hit. Either people love the story or people with Halo's story, but the gameplay is amazing. And that seems to be like a common, like at the moment, it seems to be like a common thing where people are either really enjoy the story, but the gameplay is amazing, or they find the story, but the gameplay is amazing.
Yeah. To me, I'll be honest, I think I enjoy Dying Light's open world more than Halo's.
Oh, yeah.
But I enjoy the linearity, the linear missions in that campaign, and that story as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for me... For me, I loved Halo's story. I loved its characters.
Okay, you can stay.
Oh no, no. I love Halo Infinite. Don't get me wrong. I have like God knows how many days in Halo Infinite at this point.
I see your Twitter post. So.
Oh, dude, you should see. Oh man, I totally forgot. I have a really awesome sword kill that I want to share up on Twitter. But yeah, no, like as much as I love Halo, there is something about Dying Light's world where I'm just like, I haven't had this much fun in a long time.
Yeah.
Again, just traversing. The first one didn't grab me because I feel like the way they introduced the zombies, I wasn't a fan of. Where in Dying Light 2, they trickle them out in such a way where it doesn't feel as daunting when you go out in night, and where the maps and the game itself kind of changes a bit. they do a great job as you progress through the game, introducing those new variants and you tackling them. So like
not just
to
throwing
me,
them at you like they did in the first one, where they were just like, and go.
and go and just run. Yeah, they're not as vicious. The AI are dumb. Don't get me wrong. They're big dumb idiots, folks. Humans and zombies alike. But it is just a ton of drunk fun.
Awesome.
What would you say is the average playthrough if you do like main missions and a couple of side missions? So
you're gonna get distracted because the world's really fun. I can't like you'll be going to a mission and then like you need to save someone, or like you're going through a mission and then you find like, these containers. I forget what they're called, but like they help you level up your character. So you're like, oh shit, I'll do this. I'll climb this like windmill. Sure. I beat the game in 35 hours. It took me a minute.
all right.
But that's because I was constantly getting distracted. Towards the end game, I was like, I just gotta beat this story. I gotta get here. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so it's kind of like middle ground then, by the sounds of things. It's middle because they said 20 hours for just the story, 100 hours for story and side quests, 500 if you want to do everything. So it sounds like it's like middle ground. You're probably going to end up in around about the 30, 40 hour mark.
That's I think the safe bet. And to platinum the game or 100% it, I don't think is 500 hours at all. I think it's much, much less than that. I think that number scared a lot of folks, and I think 20 is a little bit of an overcorrection, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One last thing, because the chat is also talking about it. What mode did you play it in? Performance mode.
I try. Listen, if you're giving me a performance mode, I'm always gonna choose performance mode. So I tried fidelity for a minute, and to be honest, the game looks fine. It doesn't blow my socks off. To me, it really does still look like kind of an last gen game. So I was just like, let me just get the 60 FPS, let me get the solid frames, and it never dropped. Now I'm also very lucky, and I really do need to mention this because I know several people that the game was extremely buggy for them. I know Travis from IGN had a very buggy playthrough of it. And I feel like a lot of those are on the Xbox side, unfortunately, where I've only heard one or two on the PlayStation side that there was some serious bugs to it. But
no, don't do this. Don't do this.
What?
What, the bugs? No, it's to be fair, they have. I mean, it's weird that they stipulated.
Yes, Brody, do it.
For you, let the man talk.
In terms of bugs itself, though, I think they stipulated themselves on Twitter yesterday, even before anything came out. We know people have received the game early, but we ask you to not play it until launch because there is a big day one patch that corrects a lot of the bugs.
Yeah, I think that the big discussion point I have seen is the 1080p at 60 FPS. So what is your impression about that?
Dude, I got dumb eyes. You could tell me it's 4K and I'd believe you. The game looks fine. So to me, it's like,
you play on a monitor or TV?
No, I play on a beautiful LG C1.
Okay.
Chef's kiss.
Humble brag.
Humble brag.
Right.
Like, I'm playing the Uncharted, extra whatever, give us your money at 120 FPS. And I'm like, this is how games are supposed to be played.
Smooth.
Right? Like, I'm playing Halo at that mode.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, the game looks great. But yeah, like, is it 1080p? Sure, I guess. Could it look a little shinier? Absolutely, but it still looks great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most people can't tell anyway. Remember with Guardians of the Galaxy, they're all kind of going, "Oh, it looks amazing, 1080p."
I was
1080p.
just about to
it
bring
hurts
that
my
example
eyes.
up because actually that bothered me a lot. I loved the game itself, but I probably I have an eye for that. But listen, I don't need 4K all the time. I would place a bet that 9% of the people can't tell the difference in between 1080p and 4K, for instance. And even if you have 1440p and a good upscaling technology, it gets kind of hard to tell. But 1080p, you can definitely tell on a 4K screen. On of a certain size.
Yeah.
Maybe not on a 24-inch PC monitor, but on a big TV. I do have that problem, and I'm not the biggest fan of resolution. I always prefer performance over resolution, but with 1080p, the image really gets blurry at times. And I had that issue with Guardians. I thought, this looked like I was playing on a CRT, yeah, which would probably look even better given the technology the games use now. But it kind of. When I read that,
I've always
1080p.
I was going to say, I've always said for games going forward, I think obviously outside of Little Man here, who we can't expect to hit the 4Ks and things like that, especially on these big games. Outside of that one, I expect kind of most games going forward to kind of offer a benchmark at least of 1440p as the lower end for these bigger consoles. And have that at 1440p 60 or something like that, because that.
And even with 1440, you really need a good, proper upscaling technology. Yeah. Then you really have to have something like an AMD's FSR in place.
It's a good middle ground though, as opposed to having a big jump from 1080 to 4K. It's a good middle ground. At least it's a little bit cleaner.
It doubles your pixel count, so definitely.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I think, going forward, I would hope to see later on in the generation. I think right now as well, specifically, and people hate to talk about it, but developers are still getting their heads around these consoles. It is like a 7, probably even longer, 8, maybe 9-year generation, depending on, obviously, all the technologies we've got within this. And a lot of the technologies that we're using are software-based now as opposed to hardware-based. So in terms of what they're going to be able to do, we haven't seen AMD's super resolution really come into force yet for any console. Once we do start seeing that properly implemented, it's going to really elongate the generation somewhat. It's really going to stretch this thing out. It's not a bad thing. It means they can focus on using the horsepower behind both the PlayStation and the Series consoles to the fullest and really stretch out and do what they want to do without impacting the power. I think it's just a great thing for everybody, to be honest. And I think, like I say, these early games, it's really about just hitting these things right.
We have to also think when we talk about Dying Light, that game was supposed to be in the launch window of the console, so it was definitely developed with last gen in mind and not with next gen. So or current gen. Yeah.
So it's obviously the focus soon will start stretching over to just next gen at some point. I think after the couple of bits of news that we've had from PlayStation over the last couple of days, they're going to go down a different route, and probably more aligned route with Microsoft on their vision going forward, and obviously that isn't a bad thing in the overall space. It means their focus entirely is on really pushing everything out, services, community, and that's really what some of these service-based things are, especially the games as a service model that Microsoft and Xbox try to do, are more community-focused games as a service. Obviously, we unfortunately haven't had the best of starts with Halo's online community service section there. They've tried to implement things as quick as they can to get it fixed, and no doubt they'll continue to do that. A little bit of a rocky start, but we have seen, for instance, with Sea of Thieves, how well that community's progressed as that service and how much stuff's coming on. And of course, getting into the big topic here, which is obviously one of the main reasons I wanted the best PlayStation voice here on the show, the big acquisition from this week, and obviously that was Sony acquiring Bungie for roughly in the region of 3.8 billion. Now,
and not Halo.
That's been funny to watch.
Wait, what?
Sorry, Sean.
There's been like one guy, like legit, one guy I read that, I'm like, oh, he's joking around, and then like there was some other posts where I'm just like, oh, these people are serious.
Yeah, they were.
Oh, these people are serious.
Yeah. There's one guy who completely deleted his account over it.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah,
oh, we're laughing at his pain.
But when I first, I'll give my initial impressions here. So when I first read it, the one key thing that I seen out of that was, awesome. There is a gap that's been on PlayStation that I've mentioned before that needed filled, and that's first-person shooters. First person, third person, whatever it is, they need a good shooter going forward. They have IPs, they have SOCOM, they've got Resistance, but they, as far as we know, something isn't happening with those. SOCOM, maybe, Resistance, definitely not. That was canned. We know that was just put to bed. That was an official post that was put to bed.
Which
SOCOM,
one?
we don't know. Resistance. Resistance was.
Resistance. Oh, right. Yeah.
They just stopped working on that. SOCOM, no idea. That could or could not. There's been rumors about it. What was that?
There were rumors.
There
right?
were rumors.
About
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been strong rumors about it
Yeah.
for about 2 or 3 years now.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
And they did acquire.
I wouldn't be
Twisted
surprised
Metal-
if it comes back.
I was going to say
Twisted
they
Metal
did.
was also a rumor, and that became true because Twisted Metal is now being developed by. Is that the Manchester studio or something in England? The Sony studio
Yeah, I think
or
so.
Liverpool? What is it?
Yeah, I think one
Yeah.
of the studios. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, Fire Sprite's working on it now. Yeah.
Yeah. That's Manchester, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. I don't know where they're located in because I'm not British, but like, yeah,
but-
that's
That's in
Me
the
neither,
UK.
but.
somewhere in Britain they're handling it.
Yeah, but, that was also a rumor, right, from Twisted Metal. So that SOCOM stuff is also now.
Twisted Metal has more validity. I have like a pie in the sky what I'd like to see out of Guerrilla, but right now, if you are one of the major, and something that I've seen, as time progresses, if you are one of these major studios, like Naughty Dog, Insomniac, Santa Monica, Guerrilla, Fire Sprite now, you probably have a team within your division, within your company, that's working on a live service game.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're Naughty Dog, you're probably working on factions. If you're Guerrilla, you're probably working on, let's hope for it, the Horizon MMO. If you're Fire Sprite, you're working on Twisted Metal. If you're Insomniac, you're working on that rumored Marvel multiplayer game. So, the thing that PlayStation has right now is a lot of working parts, which kind of goes into Dutch what you were saying about Halo.
Yeah.
Right? Halo launched. It's a great game. It's literally one of the best shooters ever made. But the marketplace, the battle pass, is a fucking mess. And it's embarrassing. It really, it is, at this point, it's embarrassing because you're overcorrected hard. Nonetheless, what PlayStation needs to implement, because though they have some of the most talented teams in the world, what they don't have experience in is live as service games.
Yeah.
So with this, what seemingly partnership with Bungie, it's literally them going, you have the tools, you have the tech, you have the know-how. Could you help us implement this? And that's really what this deal kind of spells out to me on the video game front.
Yeah.
Of what this means.
That's the one thing, the initial impression I got was awesome. It's going to help create the game, a franchise that they have been lacking, and that's within the FPS genre. They needed a new FPS that is going to hit hard. I think they need one. Again, Resistance was a great game. It was, unfortunately, the latter one, 4. Was it Resistance? No, it wasn't. Which was the other one that ended?
Killzone?
Killzone, yes. Killzone. That one as well, the fourth one, as beautiful as it was, as good looking as it was, the game itself didn't really do much. The enemy loop and the way they spawned and things like that was just like monotonous. If you didn't progress or go where you needed to go, they just infinitely respawn forever. They would never end. They needed something really that was going to push that forward, and I think with the help of Bungie, who have really nailed the gameplay, obviously almost second to none, but I think both them and Halo have slightly different styles of gunplay and things like that. And each has their favorite. Each person has their favorite, whether or not you like Destiny over Halo's gunplay or gameplay. But both of them very well polished, and I think that's going to be great for PlayStation going forward. Specifically, if they're going right, we've had our FPS. It's not really produced, but we want to bring something back in that genre. Can you give us the assistance to do so? The second part of it, though, was when and this is what I want to get your thoughts on, because this is the biggest of them, of the, should we say, not the controversies, but this is the biggest of the debates over the last day or so, was the fact that Bungie have very firmly said that they're going to remain completely independent, completely self-publish, and their games will be multi-plat. Sony have essentially reiterated it and said, yes, going forward, the games will remain multi-plat, and future projects, if they so deem so, will also be multi-plat. That's in their right to keep it that way. The Sony aspect seems a little bit more mixed messaging. It's like they're well within their rights to do so. However, we can ask them to create an exclusive if we want to, and go down that route. Because essentially they have acquired them and they are independent, but they've still bought them, so still their parent company, still own them.
Yeah, it's a weird. I want to know what the fine print looks like there, because
it's too good to be true for Bungie. Like, for Bungie, they've just got 3.8
really
billion. Woohoo! But there's no catch.
and yeah, that's like, so the way I see it, it's kind of like SCIE, right? Sony Computer Interactive Entertainment or whatever.
Yeah.
Their old computer division, where you had this computer division that used to be known for EverQuest kind of just doing its own thing.
Yeah.
And, PlayStation console division doing its own. That's kind of how I'm seeing it right now, of like, Bungie is their third-party machine, their revenue generator, and their opportunity to start creating their metaverse and their transmedia with Destiny content. Sony wants to make Destiny their Star Wars.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's what they get out of it, really, is the fact that they're producing what is a insanely popular IP, turning it into a video game.
Yes.
Sorry, turning it into a movie.
Turning it into a movie, yeah. So they're going, in your opinion, they're going down the route of turning these IPs into movies, which is obviously what they've been successful at with Spider-Man, and fingers crossed for them. Uncharted does well. Yeah, exactly.
Fingers crossed.
I think everyone's kind of on the fence about that film so far. They're just like, I so hope it does well, but.
You know what the problem is? That Sully isn't Sully. That's the thing.
In what
There's so many problems with this movie.
I know, but
I have faith. I'm gonna watch this movie, not just because I have to, but I'm morbidly curious. And we've been wrong before. Remember the Sonic trailer, right? So
Sonic. Oh, but I love it. Jim Carrey at his best.
It's yeah, it is Sony trying to. Sony's literally going to themselves. We have all these IP. Everybody's talking about transmedia and metaverse now. We literally have the IP and the tools to do this. So why don't we just start doing it?
Yeah.
And that's what you're kind of seeing. That's why, the whole PlayStation Productions is a thing. They're going to get it wrong, absolutely. But there's hopefully projects that get it right, that hopefully lay the blueprint, the foundation for them going forward.
Yeah. And
but you know what the biggest thing was about Uncharted? It's the first movie in like 5 or 6 years without The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
True.
Not far off. It is great. Well, you know what? It is great to see though, as a video game movie have such high-profile stars take the lead. Obviously, Tom Holland, as much as it's a little bit of a weird pick for. It's also a big name, and I think that's the one thing they wanted to do. And having those big names will open up the Uncharted universe to a much wider audience, and I think that is the key, as well as just trying to get the right fit for the lead character. It's getting the audience broadened. So getting these big names in will obviously help them. But back to the acquisition itself. again, it's to me, it's a bit. Again, it was just a very strange one to see them go so hard on the fact that it was remaining multiplat. I still don't foresee it after 2024 when Destiny's roadmap completes. I foresee the future of a potential Destiny franchise doing something else. I obviously foresee with the announcement that they again another announcement today, 10 games as a service games by 2026. With that announcement in mind, go on, Boxy.
Yeah, I need to jump in here because I gotta go in about 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I want to give my spiel on this
Yes,
as
go
well.
for it.
Go for it.
See, I think that this announcement today is the true plan behind this entire acquisition. Yes, I have seen a lot of people talk about they can do a lot of things with Bungie and their entertainment products in the movie space or whatnot. I think the true or main reason why they paid that much money for one studio and one IP that they have or that they own currently is not the studio per se. It's the technology that they bring into
Absolutely.
PlayStation.
Yep.
Sony has a ton of awesome first party content, but they don't have a single engine that provides a proper netcode just as of today. They have literally no distribution mechanisms, online distribution mechanisms on their own that they own for live service games. And that is the technology that they bought. With Bungie, they have a proper server infrastructure, a super robust net code that they can implement in all kinds of games. And if they want to bring out in the next 4 years, 10 live service games, they definitely need that. And it always sounds so easy to develop these kind of things, but remember, one of the most stable and well optimized engines out there was the creation engine. And the creation engine did not run properly a netcode. Remember the Fallout launch and how that Fallout 76 launch and how that went. This entire organization was not able to develop a proper netcode. They had to rely on old netcode from the Quake days. This is just to give you an idea how complex these kind of things can be. And with the acquisition of Bungie, they acquire round what is the studio size? Above 1,000. Yesterday I read 1,100.
1,241.
Or 1,200 developers. Yeah. And if we look at that game, that you can really bring up the question: why do they need for that game that gets DLC after DLC for years now 1,200 people? What are they all doing? And the big chunk of that is working on the netcode, working on the online infrastructure, and now Sony swoops up all that technology. It's really not about Destiny. It's about the technology behind it, and so that they can roll that out on all the other Sony studios and get those 10 live service games and online games out there in the next couple of years.
It sounds, it is. It's very similar in essence to the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Sorry, in the IP. Although Call of Duty's been the talking point, the actual purchase reason had nothing to do with that. The purchase reason was mobile was king. Was that side of the business is what they really wanted, because they needed to get the king side of things, the
mobile and PC space is what this acquisition was all about.
In the metaverse. We say that loosely because Microsoft's idea of metaverse.
It is about growing your ecosystem as it is. If all of these companies look at these kind of deals with one view only. If I'm going to spend, it doesn't matter whether it's a 3.6 billion for Bungie or the 70 billion for Activision. They think about, if we spend that money, do we have a plan, a strategy to make double the amount back? And if that question cannot be answered with a yes, they are not doing these kind of things. Sony has seen an opportunity here to grow their existing ecosystem, their existing user base outside of what they have right now into something bigger. One part that they can expand to is the online and live service games. Jim also said in the initial blog post or in the initial interview with Game Industry, with which they broke the news. Yeah, he literally said it's about going beyond consoles. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's really all about growth. How can you grow your business? And you can grow it if you go into parts that you are not that you're not represented in right now. That's the only way how you grow. And for Microsoft, that was definitely PC and the mobile space. It's really not just about the Call of Duty, because I see people only talk about Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Listen, if you just look at the fact, there are not really that many games coming to Game Pass through that acquisition. It's really not that you get one game a year into Game Pass additionally. That's
Yeah.
Call of Duty, and that's about it. And once a decade, a Diablo game, and that's it right now. So it's really not that short-term growth of Game Pass and the games available in Game Pass. It's for them going into mobile, getting
PC.
users hooked on mobile into the Game Pass ecosystem. Yeah, it's a potential growth they see, and the same goes here with Sony. They see a chance and they did it. And to be honest, that's why I think it is a great move for us gamers, because competition is always king, and if Sony can bring competition in that space towards Microsoft, I'm really glad. And I also want to see, of course, what Bungie can do, because they have a couple of great developers. Whether you like Destiny or not, it's a quality game. The shooting mechanics are on point. It is a quality product, and to see them getting the chance to do something else under the Sony umbrella is something I can get excited about.
Yeah, I want to give a hats off to. It would also be, I would say, to give them the nudge. Sony's own developers, their own studios, kind of giving them the push and saying, "Listen, we want to release our games elsewhere. We want to put them on on PC. We want to have them launched." And they've said that themselves. It was the studios that come to them and said, "We want this. Like, do it." And I think through doing that, they've been pleasantly surprised at the feedback they've got from the PC community on their games and just how well they're doing. Now, God of War, I think, is still in the top 3 sales on Steam, if not the top selling on Steam for like a couple of weeks in a row or something like that now, which is awesome to see. And obviously to them, they're thinking, right, okay, we've definitely made the right choice here in pursuing PC and doing that. And I think obviously what they're trying to confirm is, yes, we will likely have these games coming to PC day one at some point in the not too distant future, because financially it makes sense, but also grows that user base significantly. Inadvertently, even if you think a hardcore PC player only plays on PC, some of the occasion they'll say, you know what it is, I really like this product, I'm gonna get an Xbox for the living room just to play on it when I'm not doing such and such. Or in this case now, I really like this game, I don't always want to be sitting at my desk, I'm going to pick up a PlayStation and have that for the living room. Inadvertently, you do make these hardware sales, even if someone is just primarily a PC gamer or primarily a mobile gamer, whatever it is, you get inadvertent sales off the back of it anyway. It doesn't slow anything down, it just broadens your player base. Jordi, what's your overall thoughts on this acquisition so far and kind of what's come of it over recent days?
Aaron.
Aaron, yeah, yeah. I think it's a brilliant thing. At first, I was a bit taken aback at why, but when you read into it and what the future looks like, it's about both parties having they've got a roadmap now for the entire generation. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
And the live service thing, it's exciting, even for an Xbox fan, to see what PlayStation would actually buy a PlayStation for SOCOM. That's the one game I'm waiting for. But yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting time. Is it 2026? So got 4 years of 10 different titles. It's going to be interesting to see what Bungie do with that in the end.
Yes.
And it'd be interesting to see as well if PlayStation. I don't know if anyone's heard anything about them entering the cloud gaming space, but I think that might be an avenue that they'll be looking to explore as well. And sort of, I think that's the way it's going to go, subscription American gaming and cloud and playing it anywhere possible.
Yeah.
I'm of the mind
Go on.
within the next. Sorry,
No, sorry.
I'm of the mind, Jordi, that within the next 10 years, you will see a PlayStation app on an Xbox. You will see an Xbox app on a PlayStation.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
I wouldn't rule that out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't rule that out.
I mean, the last 2 weeks, anything is possible.
Yeah.
And I definitely view the way I view things is PlayStation and Xbox have definitely had a conversation similar to that of like the cable companies back in the 70s of, hey Xbox, we like you as competition. Hey PlayStation, we like you as competition. What we don't want as competition is Amazon or Apple because they're coming.
Yeah.
They're coming.
Yeah.
And so they're just like, how about this? We not partner up, but we play nice with each other and we kind of create that barrier so that it becomes so much more of a hassle and a hardship for Amazon and Apple to come in here to actually have an imposing presence on us. Shake hands. It's what it's all coming down to. Because listen, never say never. You can literally, if you want, play Apple Music on an Android.
Yeah.
So this is coming. It's going to be if the metaverse is what all these corporations are talking about. The metaverse is at the end of the day is a login screen.
Yep.
They want you to log in. They don't care where you're logging into.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not crazy, man.
I'm right. I'm right there with you. Especially when we consider that the entire industry is going to move into that subscription-based model. It really doesn't matter from which device you log into your subscription service. The important thing is that you stay subscribed. Yeah. And the other thing is, I'm 100% with you. There was an interview recently with Phil Spencer. He said something similar. He said, and I'm paraphrasing now, of course, he said that he is really not afraid of PlayStation and Nintendo doing anything that is going to hurt the gaming industry per se. He's not so sure about, and he literally said Tencent, Amazon, Google. Because an Amazon just comes in because they want to make a quick buck and they buy up, let's say, an EA or something, yeah? And if they don't get the revenue back within 2 years, they simply shut them down, and gone is an entire publisher with dozens and dozens of fantastic publishers and developers and studios and IPs, and all that is buried, and that is going to hurt the industry. And Tencent swooping up everything, making everything free to play, is the trend we see. That is going to hurt the gaming industry as we know and love it. And that is where the mindset comes in, and I'm 100% convinced that Sony thinks very similarly, because it's their bread and butter to have the gaming industry as we know it, and to grow that is their target, and not.
They're having these conversations.
Definitely.
They like, a lot of people think like they're two fortresses. It's PlayStation versus Xbox, and it's like, no, they actually have lines of communication. They have the red phone in the Oval Office waiting to call each other up, you know, and at the same exact time too, all these execs are friends, so like they all know what's up. They all see, you know, the you know, they all got the same crystal ball. So, you know, to me, that's why whenever I see these fanboys fight with each other, I'm like, oh, already wasting breath, but like, this is not going to matter in a few years. Because the thing that should be exciting is that both of these companies are competing for a dollar, but they are trying to make something new and different. And by that, it should lead to some type of excitement. Like, I saw some people when they saw that, oh, PlayStation's going to make X amount of live service games. They're like, what's going to happen to my God of War? What's going to happen to my Last of Us? What's going to happen to... And they're like, no, they're still making those games. In fact, these live services are going to enhance those games. So
extend the portfolio and the players' choices.
They always, you know, the problem with the gamers though, and obviously before we get into this a little bit more, I'm going to let Boxenberger go because he's going to be up early for work.
Thank you.
He's getting a big timeout.
Yeah, no, he doesn't get a big timeout for paying the bills. But yeah, brother, as always, pleasure having you on the panel. Let people know, of course, where they can find you, and of course, let them know where they can find your show tomorrow evening.
Yeah. First, let me say thank you for, of course, for the invite and being here. Let me be here, Jordi. It's been great to meet you finally on a podcast, MrBadBit.
Indeed.
It's always a pleasure to podcast with you, and I see you tomorrow on the World of Gaming. Tomorrow, Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern. That's 8 p.m. Central Europe, 7 p.m. UK, and 11 a.m. PT. So that's where we going to break this also down. We will also talk about a couple of other topics, PlayStation related. We are going to have a state of play later today. I think it's definitely worth a conversation, and I'm glad, MrBadBit, that you are going to join tomorrow. We're gonna have some fun over there. Definitely, if you are, and before I forget it, and if you are interested in Elden Ring, make sure to tune in, because we are doing a giveaway tomorrow for Elden Ring, of either on Xbox or PlayStation.
Woo.
That choice is up to you. So yeah, definitely going to be a fun show tomorrow, and I can't wait to be back here next week. Thank you, guys.
Most definitely. You've got some awesome guests tomorrow, of course. MrBadBit, Boomstick, and
Absolutely.
Mr. Joanna Dark as
Mr.
well?
Joanna Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she joined in your podcast, Miss Joanna Dark.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. He's,
Yes.
the
The thing is, I
the biggest
usually
crew
have
he's had on this one so
small
far.
panels, like 1 or 2 guests, and nothing bigger. I already had Mr. Boomstick and Mr. Joanna Dark invited, but then the news broke, and I had to invite Joe here
We both
because
had the same mentality. We were like, yep.
yeah, it is something we need. We need him, the most positive PlayStation voice out there. We need him on the show tomorrow. So that's
I
going to
will
be.
watch that, because I want to meet Miss Joanna Dark. He has some great gaming thoughts. So
He's very knowledgeable,
Yeah.
very knowledgeable indeed. Yeah, going to be a fun show.
Awesome stuff, brother. Awesome stuff. So, yes,
All right, guys.
I'll
So
see you
I
there, my
guys
man.
tomorrow.
Have a good
Have
one.
a good
brother.
one.
See you later, dude.
See you in a bit.
There we go. And then there were 5. But yes, Shom, what's your overall thoughts on this transaction and the state of things? I think there's some awesome points made so far in the way the industry's going. I completely foresee that. I still think, of course, and I think you'd be silly not to think that there will be, outside of just the technological aspect of this acquisition, Sony will still get an exclusive or several out of this transaction as well going forward. Obviously, you don't not foresee that from their own studio. You still want to have something to draw them into a service, regardless of whether that's a platform or an ecosystem. It's still to draw. And I think a draw like Bungie creating a single first-person IP for your platform is a big draw. Much like if Activision created a game specifically for the Xbox ecosystem, that would be a big draw. So there's bound to be something happening in the future. Of course, like a games as a service game, Destiny is remaining multi-plat. That an established IP like that, that's a no-brainer, because you wouldn't just all of a sudden stop catering for people that have already put hundreds of thousands of hours into it. But Sean, what's your thoughts on the general scape of things after that acquisition?
Well, to start off, I think it's a really good buy for Sony. People keep going on about Microsoft, how they need to purchase X, Y, and Z to fill in all these gaps, and Sony have done the same. They are, as people have said, they're lacking in the first-person space, especially the multiplayer space. And who better? You get all these people arguing about the Bungie. Are they the Bungie that created Halo? But it doesn't matter. They're the Bungie that created Destiny, and Destiny is a very good game.
Yeah.
So that's by the by. So to actually have that under their belt, I personally was very shocked to find that nothing at this moment is going first party. By the looks of it, everything I've read, I was kind of like, are people misreading? Is it? But everything I've read is saying that even outside of Destiny, it's going to be third party, which is very interesting and brings up the question of, did they overpay? It seems you could argue possibly when you look at what Microsoft got for Bethesda in terms of not just studios but technology and resources. But I suppose if that's what they needed and that's what they felt was a fair price, they did it. So for them, it's that they were happy with the transaction. Both parties were happy, and it went through. So going forward, I kind of am on the same wavelength as Joe, although I think it'll probably maybe be a bit longer when consoles might not be the little war machines that we argue over now, and it will be an app on something. Maybe there will be consoles, and like Joe says, there will be a PlayStation Plus app or Spartacus app.
There will always be a console.
Yeah,
there will always be a brick underneath your TV. Anybody that tells you otherwise, I think they're smoking crack. PlayStation likes to sell you hardware. Don't make any mistake of it. They like to sell you hardware. That's their main goal. But like services is something they are.
I agree on that, and I don't even think it's just PlayStation. I think anybody who suspects Xbox is going to do the same is also wrong, because at the end of the day, what these companies want is to provide choice of where you play. As long as you're playing, whether that's on a console and whether or not it ships loads or not, at least you've got a choice of being able to play on a console. If you want it on mobile, brilliant. If you want it on PC, good. Whatever it is, play the game.
Yeah.
And I think they'll stay competitive because they'll be fighting over that 30%.
Yeah.
So, and if you can get 30%, if you can get 100% of your first party and then 30% from the guys over the road, why not?
Yeah.
This is what I've never really understood. It's just kind of like it's gaming. This is my chill out moment. The world is fucked up enough. I don't want to be the amount of muting I've done on Twitter this last couple of days because I'm just tired of stupidity from both camps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the moment, you get the Xbox people going, well, they can't afford to do this. You know, especially now that they've bought Bungie, that they've only got $1 billion now. What are they going to do? It's $1 billion. You know, it's like
here's the thing. I get tired of like everybody playing accountant, everybody playing engineer, everybody playing developer. It's like, shut up. The game is afoot. Like we don't know. We honestly don't know how much Sony truly values PlayStation. I mean, it generates so much income for them. Yeah. We don't understand how they've assessed the risk of Microsoft encroaching on a big publisher like Activision. And again, also their bottom line, if they decide Call of Duty is exclusive forever, whatever. You know, there's multiple factors at play here where Sony could just literally, we joked about it on the trophy room this week. It's Kyle's best joke. I think it's like the memes where you see like, you have $15. Here are the $5 tier. Here's the $4 tier. Here's the $1 tier. Developer, publisher, developer. Go pick and choose. That's kind of what PlayStation, for me, what it feels like they're doing right now. Of course, they're not going to go out there and buy an Activision. That's A, unnecessary because they don't actually have to, and B, they don't have the wallet to actually do it. We forget they're still the market leader. They still have, again, these premier titles that everybody stop and kind of go and stare at, right? So, like, to me, it really is PlayStation going to themselves and just going, what do we honest to God need, and what can we actually lose, and what should we actually invest in? But I'm sorry, I totally the Novocaine hit, so take it away.
No, but it's kind of like I see the Xbox guys, and it does irritate me. Well, they're broke. They've only got $1 billion. Excuse me. They've only got $1 billion.
It's a lot. $1 billion's a lot. You got.
How about you give me $1 billion and we'll call it quits? You know what I mean?
Say Insomniac, the buy of the century.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. That's crazy, right? If you see the numbers now,
because...
it's crazy. 200 million. If you see what the acquisitions now were, Bungie 3.8 billion, Bethesda was like 7.5.
Yeah.
Activision 70, and Sony got Insomniac for 200 million. It's spare money. It's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, I've been muting all the Halo. Now is now owned by Sony people. I've been PlayStation has only 1 billion people. I've just been muting There's some people I kind of, for ages, I've kind of kept there just to laugh at, but now it's just like, no, I can.
People begging Joe Biden to block the Activision sale.
Yeah.
I did like the
People-
jokes that come
people
off the
going-
back of that, though. I did like the jokes. That come
Oh
off the
yeah,
back of that.
dude, they're great.
But then you've got the people that are kind of like, no, it's a monopoly. You can't do this. No, you cannot do this. It's ridiculous. And then they buy Bungie and they go, right, now that you've done that, what we want is we want Take-Two. Now that we've want,
EA, Take-Two,
Capcom.
Ubisoft, Capcom.
we want Capcom,
Sega.
Square Enix.
Konami. So Sony, can you buy these? And it's just like, can you just listen to yourself? Can you just stop,
Yeah,
take
stop
a
being a
breath, and look
hypocrite,
how
Take a breath.
stupid you all look.
Take a breath, breathe.
Take
But
a breath.
I don't get why people ask something about Joe Biden. I mean, if you ask Joe Biden stop the Activision deal, I don't even think Joe Biden knows what Activision is.
No, I have no idea.
What?
They'll be like, what's an Xbox?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
and then like the next question is like, where am I? Like it's
And who's this?
Sleepy Joe.
President, you're in the White House. The White what?
the
My
what?
house isn't white. No, my
God.
house is white. Oh.
It's sad he was the best option.
Oh,
Our democracy's broken.
Oh yeah,
You could have ended up with Boris.
yeah.
Yeah, that guy has some fucked up hair. I don't know anything beyond his awful hairdo. But
Oh, when it was
We
him
have-
and Trump,
we have
it was
Harry Potter in Holland.
what?
We have
Harry Potter?
Yeah, we have Harry Potter.
Let me see.
Vice
Let me see.
He's gonna Netherlands
PM
Prime Minister.
Holland.
Yeah, you see Mark Rutte. Mark Rutte is his name.
Holland
Mark Rutte.
Prime.
You want me to send it in the chat? The name?
I mean, yeah, listen, he's I don't know if he's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, no, okay, yeah. I see it now. I see it now.
Oh god, but yes, it's the silliness of fanboys on both sides. Listen, the bottom end is both these companies have a plan going forward, and that plan revolves around ensuring the big three platforms, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, still remain the big three platforms. They do not want Google, Amazon, Tencent, any of those encroaching on their feet. They don't want them stepping on their toes. They want to keep them out of it because that's an unsure future, if ever there was one. What you can be certain of with both the three key platforms is you know what you're going to get. Sony's not going to just stop producing these huge and, for the word that you hate, Joe, AAA bangers. They're not going to stop producing those anytime soon. They're not. Let's as much as you hate the word, they're not just going to stop producing them because they are masters at what they do. These are very beautiful games, very well story-driven games. They do produce great stories. Naturally, there's a reason why they're getting turned into films or trying to turn them into films. Character arcs, the way the characters are played, whether or not you agree or disagree with some of the story arcs that they've done for some of the franchises, a la Last of Us 2, which was split the fan base in half.
I knew you were going to say that.
But you know what it is? You need those divisive in games for stories like that. You need a divisive thing where they'll hate it, but you can guarantee if a third one comes out that follows on from that, they will want to play it to see how that turns out. And likewise, if they loved it, they want to see what happens next as well. The point is, they're not going to just stop producing games overnight because they're going to expand what platforms they work on. And likewise for Xbox, they're not going to just stop producing these awesome community-based games that do extremely well just because they're expanding. What they're looking to do is grow in all avenues, get more genres on board. As we've seen from the Bungie acquisition, that's a two-horse race thing there. They've got the games as a service thing that they're working on, but also now they've got an absolute certified and accredited FPS developer that can bring them a really great title in that genre and open up a space that they've been lacking in for a number of years now. So they've got two awesome things there. And yeah, SOCOM, I know everyone, you really want SOCOM, Vin. I get it. But yeah, it is an awesome time for the three main competitors. Naturally, Nintendo, by all of this news, has not been affected in the slightest. They'll have looked at both of these acquisitions and went, yeah, cool. See you later. This doesn't bother us at all.
They just felt one YouTuber with 4,000 copyright strikes.
And I can believe
Yeah.
that.
4,000.
4,000, yeah. This is why I don't use anything of theirs with music on or any kind of audio, nothing, because it's just off.
I don't even cover them.
Nope.
No?
No.
No, they don't respect me as a creator. I
No.
don't cover them.
No. They don't even respect their own creators. There was one of the major ones that I used to watch. I've forgotten the name of the guy now. I think everybody knows him though. He literally had loads, like he was just surrounded in Nintendo stuff. He was only ever covering Nintendo. And out of the blue, they said, "Oh, well, you're not one of our creators anymore. We're terminating the contract." And they didn't really give him a reason. They just said, "Yeah, it's just not like we just don't want to produce go forward with this. We've got our set creators, and you're not one of them." Even after he'd worked for them for the best part of probably 7-8 years. But they were like, "Oh, we'll still send you games to cover, but we're not sponsoring you anymore. But we'll send you the occasional game." They don't even respect him. But some people might know him in the chat. But yeah, Nintendo don't cover. This is one of the reasons I don't cover any of their Treehouse streams when they do announcements, because obviously you'd have to have it muted. And even the gameplay on there, you can guarantee at some point they'd claim some copyright stuff on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I'm quite surprised I haven't been hit by a copyright for the smaller podcast I do on a Sunday, because I had Pokemon on as the gameplay.
Yeah.
So, but it was muted, so that's probably why so far it hasn't. But no doubt one of their ninjas will come in and go, "Hua! Get off!" at some point in the future. But yes, but aside from that, Nintendo, this doesn't affect them in the slightest. Microsoft and Sony being Microsoft and Sony really being vying for should we say player base going forward as well in different avenues, and they're both looking to see how they can evolve. They know, I think Sony have seen now, after conversations with Microsoft and looking at Microsoft's strategy and how they're approaching things, Sony have seen the benefits of widening that player base. I think PC being included in their sales revenue has shown them there's a big market to make a lot of revenue off this software stuff on PC, like a really big market. And I think Microsoft are probably onto something here, and our developers specifically have requested it, and it's went really well. The God of War port was the best port they've put out so far in terms of polish. So it's there for them. It's a win-win. They've got the studio in there to be able to help with ports in Nixus. They've got a couple of studios internally that can help them port the games over into a very fine state. And I think probably you're right. It's going to be an app. I would love to see what way that is going to pan out in terms of a cloud offering potentially for Sony with Spartacus. How they get that going. We know they've partnered previously with Azure for servers. Whether or not that eventually comes into play now, after this relationship starting to get a little bit more playing nice with each other. We know they'd had the Azure partnership for a long time, but as far as we were aware, they'd never actually made use of the Azure servers that they had partnered for. They'd never actually done anything with it yet. So whether or not that is then explored further, MrBadBit, do you see them going down a cloud-based route per se with Spartacus? How do you think that's going to
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They want you playing this everywhere. They want us. They want, I say this on the podcast a lot, and I mean it to the core, man. They see Gamepass as Netflix. They want Disney Plus. They want Hulu. They want the equivalent. They want something that could compete with it on that side while they still sell you that main piece of hardware.
Yeah.
So to me, I could kind of actually, again, when I say I can see the future with the Xbox on PlayStation, it's like, yeah, via streaming, you stream them. It's not going to be 1-to-1 that you would get on an Xbox. I could see that similarly to PlayStation. It's not 1-for-1 what you would get on your PlayStation with all its doodads and features, but it's going to get you where they perceive you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, I definitely think streaming is in PlayStation's future. Is it going to be as comprehensive as Xbox? Depends. I mean, the infrastructure's there, but it is Sony, so like they know how to muck something up. They also know the thing is like Sony's so hit and miss. Like they know how to make a good app sometimes, and then they know how to exactly shit the bed. So it's really up in the air of like how well it will be.
Yeah, it's going to be a number of years until we see a cloud app, if not a streaming service from them. Because let's face it, I mean, xCloud, as we still fondly refer to it, xCloud itself is still, should we say, 2 years, 3 years, maybe is in the making now. It's still going, it's still improving, it's still getting better. They're still refining it, still getting that service up and running. And expanding it and making it better. I think with the launches of Halo specifically and Forza, they did end up having things like wait times and queues to get into some of them games, which was the first time we'd ever seen that. So I think expanding upon that, the initial thing you're going to get with PlayStation is getting the servers ready, making sure the streaming's on point, making sure the input lag, and that's one of the key things is the input lag. Getting it to a point where it's not feeling native to a console, but it's not feeling like it's unbearably unplayable either. It's like just right, where you're thinking, yeah, I can do this on here. It's not the perfect thing, but it's as good as it can be outside of the console. I think it's.
I'm just waiting for the narrative change. Well, if you want to download greatness, you need a PlayStation 6. If you want to download it, or whatever the swap's going to be for Xbox. But no, I think you're right. I do think it'll probably be download via cloud gaming. And by then, hopefully, like you said, the latency on both sides will be next to nothing.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's one of the key things that both Microsoft, because Microsoft want to see competition. They're not the ones, and they've reiterated it so many times. Like, we want Nintendo and Sony to stay there, and we want them to be doing well. We don't want them to go away. Like, the reason we're doing this is because we just want to get more players into gaming, and Sony want that as well. Equally, they want more people playing their games. And regardless of where that is, I think, and this isn't just the first interview we've seen it. The last interview, which was a couple of months back now with Jim Ryan, said exactly the same thing. He said, I've seen what we can do on a console. We hit like 15, 20 million people buy one of our premier titles. But I want to see more than 15, 20 million people. I want to get that to reach hundreds of millions of people, if I can, or billions of people. I don't want to limit them. I want these studios who spend a lot of time making these games to have their game showcased wherever it can be played and have many eyes on it. So I think they're both now kind of on the same tracks. They're both thinking, yeah, this is the route we want to go. This is how we're going to get more people playing our games and seeing our games. And we've seen that again, like you mentioned, Joe, with the push into movies, and potentially again looking at this Bungie acquisition is another one. Looking at that IP as we can turn Destiny into a franchise in terms of films or TV series, whatever it may be. Obviously, you've got Uncharted. I think you've got The Last of Us coming up as well. In terms of TV series, on Xbox side, of course, we've seen the Halo trailer, which was just epic. Obviously, everyone's thoughts are on Cortana.
Here's the thing. My problem wasn't with Cortana in the beginning. My problem is, and maybe someone in the chat that's a big lore buff will correct me here, because I want to be corrected. The problem I had with the trailer was literally the first 15 seconds. There is a man with a Kalashnikov, an AK-47.
Yes.
Why?
It might just be, scrap.
You just have to watch and find out.
Yeah.
I know, that's weird. I'm like, this is supposed to be hundreds of years in the future. I see a battle rifle and a Kalashnikov. They clash. Like, this is a weird design.
But, I mean, that could be
Defend
part
the
of...
Joe, the worst part is, and that is that Paramount Plus isn't in Europe. So it's USA only again. And that's why
there's no way you guys can get it?
Legally.
Yeah, Pirate Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legally, there's no way we can watch it so far.
Nope.
HDTV.
Great start. But no, I think because obviously we know from
It is.
the earlier
It's getting
parts of
annoying.
the Halo lore was that obviously the UNSC, the Spartans were created to go against the rebels, essentially the insurgents as they call them. I think these insurgents, of course, they're all based on what they can scrounge, what they can get their hands on, new, old technology, whatever it is. I think what you'd see in there is potentially an insurgent. Obviously, we know going forward, insurgents are in the Halo universe. Insurgents end up fighting alongside Spartans and Marines. But this part of the Halo universe that they're showcasing here, especially if you look at certain parts of it, they're mentioning finding the ring, or this is the ring. So this is like the first one they've located, the first one they've spoken about, as opposed to what we're into now with Infinite, where it's like ring number 7. We're still going here. So another ring, another day, another ring.
I hope they don't borrow too heavily from the first Halo, because I've read the book and I've played the game so many times. If it's just going to be the first one, I'm going to be a bit bored.
I was going to say that the thing about this is this is not canon. So this is aside from anything. This has got nothing to do with the actual mainline games. So this is going off and spinning off into a different location. So they kind of give themselves a little bit more creative license on this one. But I think the Kalashnikov thing, as much as it's hilarious to see that, like really, like hundreds of years in the future, and you've got an AK. I think that's probably an insurgent with an old weapon that he's just scrounged from some kind of the barrels of nothingness.
It's an artifact weapon.
Yeah,
but it still works.
Still works.
They still have ammunition for it.
Converted AK. Yeah. I mean, to be fair though, we've seen the same type. If you have a look at the concepts for a post-apocalyptic world that's based in the future, you can have a look at the likes of the Metro series, which is like 2100 something, and they're all AKs, but they're converted and like things like that. And obviously, the guns themselves are that bad. They've had to do a lot of working around and figuring them back out again and making these slapdash conversions of old weapons to try and get them working. That obviously in its form, if you had a look at the AK on there, it was kind of an AK, but it was also modified. So,
Metro's 2033.
Yeah, there we go.
So it's only it's only a decade away.
It's
guys,
long
we've
enough.
only got a decade left.
Nukes going off soon. I mean, to be fair, Russia. Let's have Russia, Ukraine, United States, Europe. It could we could be there soon.
From Russia with love.
Yeah, but it's certainly very interesting. What were your overall thoughts though, Joe, on that trailer? Because I was super hot by it. I've probably watched it a dozen times already.
I was prepared for disappointment. You gotta expect the worst when it comes to these things.
Yeah.
And then I came off going, okay, some of that was weird. I gotta go to the professional here, and the professional casual. I always show it to casuals, because if casuals go, this is cool, then we got something here.
Yeah.
So I walked to my brother, and he has not touched Halo since like Halo Reach.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, Dan, let me sit you down. Let's watch this. And he came off going, oh, that looks fucking sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely. He told me I have to buy Paramount Plus, but like that's whatever. It's fine. I think like there are things that look really good. I don't know if like when I take a look at like Mando, I'm like, oh, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then when I take a look at Halo, I'm like, oh, they definitely have a budget. Like it still looks great, but it's not at the spectacle that like I see the Mando in.
Yeah.
So I think the trailer gives me faith, but I'm still cautiously optimistic. Again, his suit looks incredible, because when you take a look at like most superhero suits or whatever, the pants always look like, I don't know, weird sweatpants. Like these actually look like suits of armor.
Yeah.
So I love the suit. I dug his voice. That didn't take me out of it. Cortana does look weird. We do need to address it.
Yeah.
But it's not like I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
More
but
people
yeah,
are just
I
bothered that she's just not blue enough. That's the only real concern. It's like, well, it's just not blue enough. Well, that's
Well,
an easy
and
fix.
if you go on Rule 34, there's other reasons why they're upset, you know?
Yeah, of course. The ones that I've seen are just surrounding mainly on the fact that she's just not blue dabba dee dabba die.
Yeah.
Oh, you sweet summer child.
Which, who knows? That probably in the next scene, it'll be like that, you know? So, yeah, other than that, like the weird flood chick, I want to know what that's all about.
Yes.
So I'm definitely in on the show. Am I expecting it to be my favorite show this year? No. Did you just see the Book of Boba Fett? Holy shit, that made my dreams reality.
Yeah.
So
No, I think I'm 2 episodes behind. I'm gonna watch them.
oh man, those like you can literally start the show there, man. Those 2 episodes.
I've quite liked it. I know it's been a
Same.
bit of a slow burner, but it's kind of each one has gotten progressively better. And I didn't think the first episode was bad, so
Yeah, no, same. And these 2 are perfect, legitimately perfect.
You know what it is though. You
That's,
can you can never argue with Disney money because they are prepared to put hundreds of millions of pounds in to their series now. Like that Disney Plus
Oh, yeah.
is big money now. Like big money.
Oh yeah.
But you can't argue with that. The one thing I will say, and it's my favorite series, which was Vikings initially, and if you watch that from the start, like you can see the budget difference between the start and the final series is ginormous.
Absolutely.
Massive.
Absolutely.
yeah.
And I think that they'll see the same. I think even The Last of Us, it'll have a big budget. It'll look good, but I think as long as that first series does well, and then they get the bigger second series budget, it'll improve again, and so on and so forth. And I think we'll see the same with the likes of Halo. I think it's a really great start in terms of its visual aspect. Certain things can be altered to improve it.
Elites looked dope.
Yeah.
Elites looked dope. The suits look dope. Just some visual things here or there that made me like, but again, like I'm being a stickler. Like I'm watching this day one. I am super excited. I'm just trying to be cautiously optimistic because I don't have much faith in video game adaptations. But Arcane is also like, Arcane is art. So yeah, I've been wrong before.
Yeah, and the only reason I'm cautiously optimistic about it is because Amblin's working with them, and Amblin have obviously a very, very great history. Steven Spielberg's own company, you can't really deny their credentials, and that what they're capable of doing. So, I've got faith that it will be good. It's just how good will it be?
Yeah.
Mr. Greenberg, what's your thoughts on the Halo trailer that we've seen?
Yeah, I was actually blown away by it. I didn't expect it to look so. I didn't expect it to look like they spent that much money on it, to be honest. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. It's just like you say, it's us finding a way of watching it now.
Yes.
So
Pirate Bay.
Yeah, we
I'm
don't.
sure there's ways
we
of
don't,
it,
we
but-
don't usually advocate for it, but on this occasion, UK, Europe, you may have to unless they announce something.
Yeah,
soon.
that's the thing. It's like, man, why not make a deal somewhere else? I know, like, because I know there's some places that like Netflix will have Handmaid's Tale or something because it's not available there.
Yeah.
I wonder why they didn't do that for this. That seems like a
Look,
misstep.
look, Mr. Greenberg. Joe just sent his login codes for Paramount in the private chat.
But yeah, so you blown away. Was there any aspect of it that you didn't like, or were you just pleasantly surprised by how well it looked as it stands?
I was pleasantly surprised. I just hope it holds up to. Obviously, trailers sometimes they show you all the good stuff in one
Yeah.
bang, and then it depends how the story pans out and the pacing of it all. So I think hopefully it does well, and then they can sort of continue on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised that nothing that sort of frustrated me in any way. Yeah,
Definitely. I
enjoyed
mean,
it.
the one thing that I liked, I always take one of my favorite Halo adaptations was Forward Unto Dawn. That mini movie, which was kind of extremely low budget, was actually really good. The implementation of the Hunter in there was tremendous. Like that was a really good fight with Chief and the Hunter. And obviously you had the elites in there as well, mainly invisible for the vast majority. But you had it from the UNSC Marine kind of aspect, and then the Master Chief and the Spartans coming in later on. But if it's better than that, I'm going to be happy anyway because I really enjoyed Unto Dawn. So, and from what I've seen, the suit for Master Chief is phenomenal. I think people are gonna great that Jenny Taylor is doing the voice of Cortana, and they actually got the voice nailed down. People are gonna have to get used to the Chief's voice and not being Steve Downes. But I think outside of that and a few different graphical things, I think I'm cautiously optimistic. Shom, what's your thoughts on it overall?
I was pleased with it. I'm not really bothered by the Cortana thing. Yeah, she looks a little bit odd because that's not what we're used to. But I'm more happy that Jen Taylor's voicing and acting as her, and I'm not overly bothered by Master Chief not sounding like Master Chief. I kind of expected that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it kind of says that you're going to see his face. Otherwise, I think they probably would have used his voice. I don't think it would look too great if Pablo Schreiber?
Yeah, Schreiber, yeah.
If it was miming Steve Downes.
That would have been it would have been a bit strange. If he takes his helmet off at any occasion, then it's Steve Downes' voice and not his. He'd be like,
yeah, I mean, that wouldn't have probably gone down too well. It just, yeah.
Hola.
Anyway, but it looked really good. It did look really good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I will be watching it online. That is all I will say. And it's not even a case of like, oh, well, we've got to wait 12 hours like most American shows nowadays. It's kind of literally the whole season could come out before we even know when we're getting it. So all the spoilers, everything. It's bad enough with you Americans can't keep your mouth shut for 3 hours when The Walking Dead is on. Like The Walking Dead's on, I look at my phone, it's like, I can't believe so-and-so died. And it's just like, yeah, literally.
Is that still going then?
I was about to say, is that still going?
Yeah.
I don't know. I stopped watching it ages ago because it just got so stupid and
Carl,
boring.
Season 11's coming up with 24 episodes.
What?
So, yeah, season 11 of The Walking
Is
Dead.
anyone from the original cast still in it?
Yes. Daryl is still in it. Daryl's in
it. He's making bank off that, isn't he?
Right, he is. I think he's the main character now because Rick's out. Rick's gone.
Yeah.
But Daryl's definitely still in it.
Rick Grimes.
Yep.
Rick Grimes.
Yeah, he's gone.
Is the woman with the short hair? Is she still in it?
I believe so.
Yes, but she has long hair now. I know that for sure.
Yeah. The last season I watched, I had really long grey hair. Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, she had short hair. The last one I watched was the one with the tigers in it.
Yeah.
However long ago that was.
Fair one.
The last season I watched was with Negan, but
Negan. Was it Negan? Yeah. Negan. It was. I don't think they quite dealt with him yet. The autistic fella had just switched sides over to Negan's side. That was one of the last episodes I watched.
Mm.
The last one I watched was when Carl died.
Yeah,
Carl. Yeah, exactly. But we do have another major topic to get to here. Of course. But before we do, Mr. Greenberg himself has to put the little one to bed. So he is jumping out of the show as it stands now. Awesome to have you on, though, brother. Obviously, we'll definitely get you back in the future here, specifically on the show and talk more
definitely.
Xbox.
Thanks for having me.
No, you're welcome, brother. You're welcome. But let people know where they can find you, of course, and what's coming up for you guys at Xbox Era.
So you can find me personally at Jordi Campbell 1 on Twitter, and you can find all of our stuff on the Xbox Era website and also Xbox Era on YouTube. And we have our podcast going live every Saturday, normally 10 or 11 p.m. on a Saturday night, and that's about it, really.
Awesome stuff. Are you going to try? Are you going to try and get more onto Nick's Xbox Era podcast in the future, or
I think
your twin brother Aaron?
yeah. I think it's Nick and John are going to keep it the way it is for now. Obviously, we bring in special guests each week, but
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Brilliant. Aaron, you never know. It's a good possibility. Yeah, anything on Bloodborne? Anything? Is anybody doing anything with it? Yeah, please. Yeah, definitely. Have a good night, brother. Awesome stuff. And our second, and obviously, Joe, I'd love to hear your opinions on this because it is wide ranging. This one, Xbox, of course, have been working very hard on correcting their previous generation mistakes, and that's they don't have games. Of course, going forward, they've got a number. Oh yes, they've got a number of games that we are aware of. Of course, they've got roughly around about 20 something announced titles. But outside of that, they also have a significant amount of projects that are under works, and we heard about one of them specifically over the last week as well, which was unveiled, of course, by Jez at Windows Central as being Project Swerte. That's a Monster Hunter-esque game coming out for the Xbox in the future. Now, Vin, we've spoke about this. Do not mention it. It is not happening. Vin. Yes, there's still time's out. Yeah. He really wants, just to get you up to date. He really still wants. Do you want to announce it, Vin? Yeah. He just yeah. Yep. Thank you. Yeah. That if you wait it I was gonna say wait there again, guys, because we've had some weird something weird going on with the audio where it's the desktop audio is literally just packed it itself in. Absolutely. No, it has. Check the. You can check check the chat. Check the chat. The audio has literally shit the bed for no reason. Guys, at the moment they're blaming me for this. Apparently, it's all my fault. This is so weird. It's literally been working and then just killed itself. I don't understand this. This is such a weird issue to have? I don't understand it. Yeah, we have to pinpoint that. Why is it doing this? Why is it being like this? Dear God. Oh, my word. No, this is literally just shit in the bed for absolutely no reason. Yep, chat can't hear anybody but me. Even though the desktop audio is set to, it's on and it picks up an audio to a point and then doesn't pick up any audio like coming out. And it was working for no reason. I know what I'm going to do, 2 seconds. I'm going to remove the desktop audio and then add the desktop audio back in. Dear God.
Sabotage.
Yeah. Sean.
There we
agree
go.
with me,
Right,
please.
guys, we have audio back.
Hello.
I had audio
I
back
don't
now.
agree with you.
It is skill bound.
I literally had to remove the audio entirely and then add it back in again. We are back on, guys. Sorry for that strange.
How about removing Vin?
Yeah.
See if that works.
So Vin is on
Are
a
you-
timeout because he just wants to talk about Scalebound.
Yeah.
Thankfully, hopefully everybody's everybody can hear everybody now. Everybody in chat, if you can, please let us know. Make sure that you can hear us. But yes, I can see it now. Yes, it's back. Thank you, Insanity, for confirming. Sweet. So, God, I hate
Yes.
technology at times.
It's the worst.
Can I say skill bound again?
You can try. I'm just gonna put this on for you though. There you go. There's your timeout. But no. So Monster Hunter is not scale bound. That is the key thing I want to say. It's not a similar game.
No. That's not what I said. I didn't say Monster Hunter is skill bound. I said Project Dragon is skill bound.
No, this is gonna be something better.
Yeah.
So, like for me personally, this news excites me because I really love Monster Hunter. I think it's a really good game. I got into it with Worlds, but there's just way too many systems at play, and it kind of just gets me out of that experience. So, like, there was like 20 hours in, I was like, God, I'm still learning this really intricate thing. This is, I don't like this, and
Joe,
I kind of
Joe.
noped out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Replace the cat with a dragon.
God damn it, he's still on this. He's relentless.
Yeah.
He's,
Oh yeah.
he's relentless.
This is why it gets times out.
Yeah,
It's like,
I
oh,
get it.
Goodbye.
Times out just for him. We invented them for him.
For him.
It is true though, and Boxenberger started it, and he went out after only 4 timeouts. So
Then you're in timeout. So, so yeah, no, I like this. This is cool news. More cooperative multiplayer is something that I'm way more interested in now. As I get older, I just kind of want to chill with my friends and not always get sweaty and carry Luke through Halo. But at the same exact time, this is cool. I'm surprised that we haven't seen, for me, my nerd brain goes, why haven't we seen Gorilla's MMO? Because like that's been in development for a long minute. And I'm like, if anything, because like, what's this going to be? It can't be robot dinosaurs. And then you get compared to Horizon. If these are big giant dinos, you're going to get compared to Monster Hunter. So like, it's like, I wonder where this game's going to really
With Gorilla's
line
MMO, would that be? I mean, that you know where it is though. The Horizon world for an MMO would be absolutely awesome. Would it be a Horizon MMO offshoot like Elder Scrolls did with Elder Scrolls Online?
100% would be that.
I mean, that, to be honest, that would be absolutely awesome if you could. I would love to be able to cooperative on any of the Sony IPs. To be honest, Ghost of Tsushima, obviously got their Legends thing on there, and
God bless.
but we need more. We want more of these cooperative things for Sony. We do, and I would love. Horizon's got the perfect world for it.
Perfect.
Perfect.
And that's why,
adventurous
like, if certain affinity, if this is a whole brand new word for them,
Yeah.
awesome, really cool. If this is like a standard world that we see before or whatever from a, what if this is Turok? Okay, like stuff like that. Like that would be, that's where kind of my mind goes. Are they reusing an IP or are they doing something different? Either way, I'm intrigued by this, and I maybe we'll see something later on in the year, whatever their E3 equivalent show is.
No, most definitely, most definitely. Sean, what's your thoughts on the on a Monster Hunter-esque IP coming to the platform in the future? What's your thoughts on that IP in general?
It depends on what the gameplay is like, because I tried to get into Monster Hunter when it was on Xbox, and it's too much going on. I can't be bothered learning all the stuff they wanted to teach you just to play the game. And if it was a little bit kind of like Monster Hunter Light, where it's got the gameplay and a little bit of the systems involved, then I'd be interested. But if it is just a clone, then probably not.
Yeah. I'm pretty much in the same camp, to be honest. I was like you, Joe. I enjoyed the initial section of it, but then it just started to get like, so what am I doing here? So I've got to do right and this and this and this and this and this, and then I've got to use Inch Eye, Private Eye to hunt down the monster that I want that's just run away. Never played it in co-op, and I think it probably would have been a little bit better had I played online in co-op. But I purchased that game thinking, you know where it is, I'm going to give the franchise a go. It was the first time Monster Hunter had been on Xbox with Monster Hunter World. So I purchased it. Probably put about maybe 10 hours into it, and I was like, I just can't get away with this. I just can't do it. It's unfortunate, but I just can't. I'll probably agree with Sean if it was the world and the concept minus half of the mechanics, maybe keep it a little bit lighter, a little bit easier to digest. I could probably get into that. If it's just as full on and a lot of things going on, a lot of mechanics you have to learn consistently for a long time, probably also pass. But again, the beauty of Game Pass is the fact that we don't have to worry about it. We could try it, specifically being a new IP. If it's something that we're on the fence about, we don't have to buy it initially. We could just try it. If we don't like it, no loss. No loss. And I think that's the one thing I'm looking forward to PlayStation guys getting as well, to be honest, is being able to dive into something. If you want to buy it afterwards, terrific, do so. But if you're on the fence about it, you don't know whether or not you want to put your money down, that is the perfect thing. To me, that is why I have Game Pass. It's for the games that I'm on the fence about. Because I still purchase the Forzas, I still purchase the Halos, I still purchase the Gears. Like, all of these major IPs I still buy. It's the new stuff that I'm like, am I interested, am I not? And that's where Game Pass comes in useful, because I can try it, and if I love it, then I'll get it. Simple.
Yeah.
And you can find a Game of the Year by it, right?
Oh, 100%.
Psychonauts 2 was... I wasn't planning on buying it, but it was my favorite game of 2021.
Yeah.
It was by far.
No. Well, we spoke about this before. If it wasn't for the fact that I played this game very late in the generation, the tail end, but if it wasn't for It Takes Two, which I played pretty much in one sitting on the charity stream, if it wasn't for that game, I would have been likewise. Psychonauts 2 is my game of the year, but It Takes Two took that crown in the end. Just an insanely great game.
A lot of love for that game, man. I respect it. A lot of love for both, though both aren't my jam. I'm not naturally like a platformer person by any means, but like it's really cool to see those two games in particular get so much love. Like Psychonauts 2 won, I think, a game of the year from some, was it like the New York Times or something today?
Yeah.
That's really awesome to see, dude. It's awesome to see smaller devs, talented devs with strange ideas get rewarded for their strangeness.
Yeah.
Too right. And I loved, and again, when we're speaking on the co-op, I loved the co-op mechanics in It Takes Two were phenomenal. Like every level was different, every level had different mechanics, but they were fun to learn. Each character had their own little tropes that you had to get round, so whilst one was doing something, the other person was doing something else. And every level was different itself. It always looked different, so it was always fresh. Like the entirety of the journey in that game, it was always something new. You were always doing
Yeah.
something different, so it always kept you interested. Such a great game.
But that what's his name? The Italian developer, the guy.
Oh, he's great.
He's what? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love him. No, he's brilliant. Him and his team, a phenomenal job, and I can't wait to see what they produce next. To be honest,
Absolutely.
But great. It's the secondary point of this topic, and obviously, Vin, I know you want Scalebound, but obviously, Monster Hunter. Have you tried it? Have you not tried it? Is that something you'd be interested
Oh yeah. I tried Monster Hunter. I played a little more than you, I think. I like 30, 40 hours, maybe 50, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe. Not sure, to be honest. I really liked it until the point it gets too much grinding, you know.
in? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what puts up a lot of people.
I would say that repetitive. I
Yeah.
think that's the right word.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I really like the game. You know, there's some funny stuff in it with the cats cooking and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And,
the strange
but-
Japanese quirks and humor that we get with these games.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I really like that. You know that I really like that. You know, it's. I'm a huge Sega fan. You know that, and there's always, you know, in Skies of Arcadia as well. You have all this stuff, and I'm a huge fan of it. It's the same with Nobody Saves the World now. You know, they have these weird things, and that's what.
You like the weird
that's
and
what-
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and Monster Hunter has it as well, to some point, and that's my problem with Monster Hunter. At a certain point, you get this repetitive thing, right?
Mm.
It's just the same.
Yeah.
If they added something to it, I like replace a cat with a dragon, you know.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what it is. You know what it is, Vin. You deserve it. You deserve it. It's another time out. But Sean,
Right, you can have a cat with dragon wings. That's as far as we're going.
yeah, there we go.
Oh, I have Mega Man. My character has the Dante skin from Devil May Cry, and my cat has a
Mega
Mega
Man
Man
skin.
skin from yeah.
But I
I
think
did all the
I was going to say, Sean,
did all that
Sean's on to a
stuff.
point though. I think once if they can make the IP less grindy, whatever this IP
Yeah,
turns out to
yeah,
be, if it
yeah.
makes it less grindy, I think a lot of people will be interested in it. Yeah,
less grindy, more story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Make
most
it more
definitely.
make it more like an RPG type of game and a less grindy. You know,
Yeah,
a bit like Destiny. If you do it more like Destiny, that would be better. You know, with
Yeah.
events and stuff.
definitely.
That would be great.
Yeah, I knew a lot of Destiny people that loved Monster Hunter. Like it
Yeah.
seems like it marries into
Marries
it
up
very
with
well.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Additionally,
I love Destiny as well, but you know, and I had the same with Monster Hunter until a certain point where there is no more story, just repeating and repeating, and that's the thing that I don't want. I want new stuff, you know, like events, new lore, and those kind of things.
yeah,
And Destiny does that, you know. Destiny has some really great expansions, and
Yeah.
I have that you know, I have to give them that. Uh, and you know, for 20 euros for me, then you know, you have the Witch King, you have all those stuff. It was great, but Monster Hunter, it was just here you have it, and this is it.
yeah.
We can give you some skins for free, but the missions still remain the same, and that's what bothered me.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. On top of Project Swerte, though, there are a significant amount of projects ongoing by a range of studios.
Mm.
We have IOI's Project Dragon. We have
Skillbound.
Project Belfry. We have Project Paxdai. We have In Exile's Project Cobalt. Oxide's Project Indus. Kojima Productions Project. We don't know what that is yet. We have Project Shaolin, which we heard was a what was the name of them again? I forgot.
Ninja Gaiden.
No, I've forgotten the name of them. It was the oh god, it'll come to us. Compulsion Games Project Midnight, Obsidian's Project Pentiment, Altspace VR's Project 1 versus 100 to bring back that again to the console. I am so glad that is something that's happening. Anybody who's played on the old 361 versus 100, that was a really great little idea for the community.
That's fun for community nights.
Yeah, really great. It was really good, and obviously allows people to win things, points for things, and discounts off games, and discount codes, and so on and so forth. So that's good. Then you have a whole host of hidden, i.e. they don't know who's producing these, but they know the names of them. Project Kalimba, Project Gravity, Project Vinegar, Project Velvet, which is insane. So
Project
many
Vinegar?
titles. Yeah,
Yeah. Awesome. This is awesome to see, man.
it's just insane.
Now, when these things actually come out, I'm going to be even more excited.
Oh god, yeah, that's the difference. That's the difference.
Yeah.
The one thing we
No,
do
it's-
know,
it's-
though- go on.
Yeah, go for it. No, you go for it.
Is the titles that are from the home studios, of course, that we also know that are coming. So obviously we've got 343 with the live service for the next decade for Halo. That includes an unannounced Halo project though. But we do know that was trademarked at the other month, I think it was, for the opposite side. We've got the Coalition's unannounced IP as well as Gear 6. We have Forza Motorsport, of course, coming out within the next year or so. Sea of Thieves and Everwild continuing. Fable and Forza Horizon 5's live service. Senua Saga and Project Mara. Then you have Perfect Dark by Initiative. And then Undead Labs are doing continuous live service for State of Decay 2 as well as State of Decay 3. Compulsion Games Project Velvet and Midnight. Obsidian, the essentially doing just the same amount of work as Insomniac here. Grounded, Avowed, Outer Worlds, and Pentiment. Three major projects. In Exile, Project Cobalt, and unannounced project. Double Fine have multiple unannounced projects. They've said that themselves. World's Edge have Age of Empires, which will continue to grow, plus an unannounced project. Mojang, of course, continuous live service on Minecraft and Minecraft Dungeons. Then we go into Bethesda. Jesus wept. Tango Gameworks, Evil Within 3 and unannounced. Arcane, Redfall and unannounced. Roundhouse, unannounced. Machine Games, Indiana Jones, then unannounced Wolfenstein 3. ID, Quake Reboot. ZeniMax, Online, Elder Scrolls Online, of course, continuous live service forever, and a new IP, which they're excited to announce. Bethesda have Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6 in the very distant future, Fallout 76, and I'm not going to mention Activision Blizzard yet. They have a whole host of IPs, but we have no idea what will pan out with that. So exclude Activision Blizzard. That's not concluded. That isn't dotted line yet, so I'm not going to speak about that. But the sheer volume of games there, I'm looking forward to seeing Sony have acquired a number of studios so far. And the one thing that I'm looking forward to seeing from Sony this year specifically, because I want to bring Sony into this topic as well, is the future of what their studios are creating. We know of Horizon, we know of God of War, we know Wolverine, we know Spider-Man. Outside of that, there is a whole host of projects ongoing in Sony Studios. What I want to see what avenue they're going down as well, and that's what's intriguing me the most. I know what Xbox are doing. I can see Xbox's roadmap. I'm really intrigued to see what PlayStation are working on in the background. What are you thinking is they're doing aside from the key staple franchises they've got announced?
Yeah, so I think with this next year, you're going to see PlayStation acquire more studios, and build out their portfolio from there. I think PlayStation's job is to build a smaller but capable portfolio for Spartacus, and that's what this year is all about. It's all about investment. So currently, they have 25 devs working on. Or 25 first-party devs working on PlayStation 5 games. And the thing that's exciting is that, like, we don't know per se what these games are.
Yeah.
So like we do know the known quantities, but they've done a really great job of keeping a lid on some things. As long as Bloodborne comes out and it's by Blue Point, I am totally excited what they have in store there. The other cool thing too, which is pretty neat, is some of these teams are working on multiple projects. So, i.e., Naughty Dog, you got The Last of Us, you got the Uncharted thing that just came out, and The Last of Us remake, and Factions, right? So they have work for multiple studios working on that one thing. You're seeing Santa Monica right now explode into I think it's 2 or 3 different teams in that studio.
Really
so
interested
to
see
me,
what Corey does, because as soon as Corey was sat there and he was like, "Oh yeah, this isn't my baby anymore," this is gone now. I'm working on something. I'll speak about it soon, but I'm not telling.
He is the studio creative lead.
Oh yeah.
That's the crazy thing. So this guy has a lot of power to empower other creators. It's going to be really interesting to see what he's working on. But yeah, it's an exciting time. See, the thing is, at the end of the day, it's an exciting time because you got Project Vinegar, Project Sugar, or whatever. I have no idea what those games are, but it is such a fucking cool thought to think that Microsoft saw the problem. They're we can't compete if we only have 6 studios.
Yeah, oh god, yeah.
And in the span of just a few years has just turned that narrative upside down. And now they have too many games to look forward to. That's awesome to see Sony go, you know what? We're lacking in the big AAA live service game. It's awesome to see them step into their own and make something unique, hopefully, with those titles and something that fans really want, because they plan on 10 live services. They know not all 10 are going to land. So to me, I'm really interested to see. I think you're right. To me, it's more exciting right now for PlayStation because there is so much mystery in those moves. Because it is real. We already seen what Xbox's game plan is. It is exciting, but we now know what it is. Now Sony actually has to react and do something big. And if their next move or acquisition, I said this on the trophy room this episode, is that this is the year where we'll finally actually get to see what type of CEO Jim Ryan is and what type of leader he is and how he's going to command these studios, or if he's not. Because the one thing that people constantly doubt this guy is he is just a company figurehead. He is here to sell a thing. But every person that I've talked to that has met him, that has known him, has tremendous respect for him. And they all say the same fucking thing, is that this guy wants to be the CEO of Sony.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to see how he maneuvers against the juggernaut that is Microsoft. So that's all I got.
I mean, I was intrigued to find out, and I didn't even know it, but I didn't realize Jim Ryan was from where I live. He's from my area, which is very. I was like, he's from the northeast. He's from what? He's from. Not only is he from the UK, he's from the northeast. It is interesting to see, but my key thing is, obviously we want Factions to come out and be great. They're still hiring for that position. They obviously want to get it right, as much as people complain that it should have come out when they said it was coming out, not long after launch.
Dude, it's crazy. It is really crazy how, again, if COVID didn't hit, where we'd be right now, where these consoles would be sales wise is one thing. The games we'd see is another. And if we'd really see as many acquisitions as we are seeing because of inflation is something to wonder. That said, though, guys, I do have to go because I got to start setting up the Gran Turismo stream. So I can't wait to go, ooh, cars.
Yes, I bet.
With my community. But guys, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for dealing with this today.
Don't you worry. I know that feeling because I'd not long been out of out of the dentist myself with boot on.
Dude, throughout this whole show, I'm playing with my jaw. I'm like, my teeth aren't aligning right. Like, it needs to find a new alignment because of all the drills and shit. It's nuts. So, everybody, thank you all so much for having me. You know where to find me at MrBadBit, at PS Trophy Room, the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. With me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest and greatest all things PlayStation, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. The growth in the podcast scene over the last few months, it's because of people like you, Dutch, everybody tuning in, supporting us the way you do. We are a PlayStation podcast that we try to keep it civil. We try to not make it like a doomsday scenario, and we try not to make it like a PlayStation commercial. It is just people covering PlayStation as it should.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And for those that are interested, of course, at the beginning of the show, we mentioned when Joe came on, he has just released his review of Dying Light 2. So for those that want to tune into that, dropping that link back in the chat again for you there. Make sure to tune into that, drop a subscription, enjoy his views on the game, of course, that you can expect to play in the coming days. But Joe, awesome to have you on, brother. You go enjoy your Gran Turismo 7 stream, I hope, to any extent that you see.
I'm not a car guy, but people want to watch me watch this thing. Can't wait.
But you are, you know what the problem is? You are like this really neutral PlayStation guy.
Yeah.
Which is
I know. People give me shit for it.
No, it's great.
And that's why I watch your stuff for PlayStation, because you're not like this. Oh, PlayStation! But you know, you're just a gamer. You know.
Yeah, it keeps it real.
It keeps it real. Yeah.
I try to make my thumbnails as least clickbaity as possible. I try to make my titles as just like, here's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I really I go against a lot of what the algorithm does on purpose, because it's really about making the show that I want to see on the internet. And a lot what I see is just like people talking crap or people getting salty, and I don't want those type of communities part of my community. It's imperative that I keep it pure, that whether you're an Xbox fan, Nintendo fan, PC fan, PlayStation fan, you can watch the show and enjoy it. That's all the mission is.
Will you come back at us?
Yes.
Of course you will.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Next time I won't have like I'll have another fail. It'll be like a Nicolas Cage situation.
Brilliant.
But guys,
good night, brother.
See you guys. Peace.
Thank you, brother.
I will watch the show tomorrow.
Guys, before we set off, I do want to get your opinions on all of these, obviously the mountains of projects we've got going on, and of course, what Sony are going to be doing going forward. Of course, I've just mentioned we know they're obviously up to something, but what is it, and what can they do to expand? And of course, our thoughts on the projects, the mountains of projects ongoing for Xbox. Sean, what's your thoughts overall on just how many variables that they've got going on there?
When it comes to stuff like all the code names, I can't get excited for a code name.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's this project, and it's just like, yeah, but what is it? Like, we haven't seen gameplay, we haven't seen even a CGI trailer of it. We literally know nothing about it. Is it a racing game? Is it a third-person action adventure? Is it Scalebound 5? You know what I mean? I can't get excited for that stuff. But then on the flip side of things, I find it a little bit daunting because I don't have enough time to play what I've got now.
Yes. Trying to keep on top of everything.
And I think especially come August, where I'll be, hopefully, if I pass this course and I'm actually in the teaching, I'm going to have time, but I'm also going to be not have too much time because I'm going to be tired, and it's going to be my probation year. I mean, the year after that, once I've had a year of teaching, I think it's going to be fine. I always am in a bit of amazement with Luke. Is it Luke Lahore? Yeah, I used to say his name. Like, he's a teacher, and I just see the amount of the podcasting does, the other stuff he does. It's like, how the hell do you find time to do that? So like we're going back to the question. It's a little bit daunting. I can't get too excited until I see things. I'm not into list wars, so I can't go, but we've got this coming. I don't care. I'll get excited for it when there's like less than a year or 18 months to it. For the Sony side, What was the question for the Sony side? What can they do to?
What can they do? Of course, we know the main IPs that are coming out. We know the God of War. We know Last of Us. We know the Last of Us remake. We know Factions. We know Spider-Man and Wolverine. We know those games, but we don't know what else they've got in the works. We know Corey Barlog's working on a new game. Again, don't know what it is, but what can they add to their portfolio going forwards? Of
I
course,
think they just need to diversify.
yeah.
They're very good at doing the single player action adventure. I know that you'll get somebody going, "Oh yes, but they have this game and that game." That's not. It's just like, yeah, but their bread and butter is your Uncharted and Last of Us-esque
Yeah.
game. That's what they're. Whenever somebody wants to bring out, their Metacritic score wars or whatever, that's the things they turn to. So yeah, I mean, it's like, where's their? Well, they're going to be sorting out their FPSs.
Yeah, I think that's
not
a given
maybe not
now.
specifically with Bungie, but with somebody. Yeah, where's their RTSs? Where where's? I mean, it depends on what the streaming like 20 minutes is going to be about.
Yeah.
People's getting overhyped about it, but the last couple haven't been great. All of a sudden, people seem to think that that thing is going to be suddenly a 99 meta because it's probably got pretty graphics. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? The last couple historically haven't been great.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden they're going
fair,
because it looks.
I was going to say, to be fair, with racing games specifically, reviewers tend to go on the content side more than the graphics side. They'll always praise the graphics if the graphics are good, but you tend to find the reason racing games ever get downgraded is down to content. It's not down to
I mean, look,
anything else.
it was the Drive Club. Drive Club looked amazing for when it came out.
Yeah.
It was
but
amazing.
It didn't do well. It did do well though in terms of score and popularity.
Yeah.
No, it was weird, right? Because it really was a great game.
You see the Warriors. They're all pointing. Yeah, but can the Xbox do this? It's like, yeah, but nobody's playing it. It's not getting good reviews. There's a small community that love it, which you get with a lot of games.
Yeah.
But overall, it didn't really do that well. And even the sport, that didn't do well either.
Yeah. 100%.
So having pretty graphics isn't necessarily gonna.
That's what I've been saying about it as well. Specifically for Gran Turismo, it needs to focus first of all on being better than sport. If it's better than sport, it's already a bonus anyway. It's already on good stead.
And if what Erwin says is right and goes by, it says that PC players wouldn't want it really on PC because they wouldn't like it. They're like hardcore simulator, and they'd be like, no, this is just like a cartoon game in comparison.
Oh god, yeah, it is. Compared to the sim racing games on PC, they're super intricate, like extremely intricate in comparison to what we get on console. Like, as much as there's a big sim racing community on console, like PC's another level. Like, but it's the same on PC for all sims though, actual simulators.
Like, yeah.
Flight Sim on console, it's brilliant. It's intricate, as much as intricate as it can make it. But on PC, whole nother level. Like, them guys have got.
I'm interested in the features because when you look at what they've said that Forza Motorsport's going to be like the air pressure of the tires and things like that. Will that match up?
Yeah.
Are they going to be Are they going to be getting stuff that's already in the last Forza, or are they actually going to have stuff that track temperature affecting the tires and the air pressure and whatnot?
On Forza, the new Forza, yes, they're doing completely wearable tires. You're gonna have to change them out depending on things. So yeah, in terms of the tires and the track, depending on circumstances, etc., they are massively implementing that. I think GT going forward do have that as well, but to what extent is going to be definitely interesting to see. But again, these games revolve around content, specifically racing games. If they're going to go in and launch with, say, even just 150 cars, in terms of a racing game, that isn't a lot. That's quite.
Yeah, when you've got other classes and styles and.
Mm-hmm. It sounds ridiculous, but it needs several hundred cars at launch, and then you add packs onto it. We've seen that with the Forza games. They usually launch with 400-500 cars, and then they add to it onwards. It's going to be, yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. What else? I mean, obviously we know FPS is going down, RTS. What else do you think they could add to their portfolio going forward? What else do you think they need to?
Just trying to think. I don't think they really need to like. I don't even the same with Xbox. I don't think they really need to have a dedicated Battlegrounds or Fortnite-esque game.
Yeah.
They don't need a battle royale really. I'm just trying to think of the genres out there because I think we're so conditioned to first-person shooter.
Yeah.
Like they've got fighting lockdown pretty much. I think
Ratchet's
I've heard
Ratchet's kind of a family game, like an all ages ish game. So they've got kind of that one kind of covered, but
maybe they need to find their own kind of Minecraft. And what I mean by that, not specifically building or whatnot, but a massively popular kid-friendly game.
Like Sea of Thieves.
Kind of, yeah. Something that is it's not, I hate this. I hate using hardcore, hardcore gamer. You're not a hardcore gamer. You only play one game, or you don't do that. It's just get lost. I think they've got a fair decent platforming with Ratchet and Clank. I would love them to bring Jack and Dexter back.
Oh yeah.
They don't really have strategy, do they?
No, they don't have any strategy games.
They don't really have.
But they had it with Square Enix with Front Mission.
I've just gone onto the Xbox store and gone back to genre and then gone to strategy. The first game up, Fortnite. How is that strategy?
Pixel bit.
Same as Simulator.
Pixel bit. You're right, like a Roblox. I'm really surprised that Roblox isn't on PlayStation yet.
It isn't?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I don't know when it will be. Surely they'll have to get it on the platform at some point, but it still isn't there.
Okay.
They could probably work on some Western RPGs. I know that they've got the JRPG
lockdown. Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
But as much as you get people going on about how, well, they've got this, they got Final Fantasy, it's like most people don't play that. It's you're bragging. It's like those people that brag about PlayStation 5 all the time, but they don't actually own one. It's like you got these people, we've got this, we've got that, and we've got this. And it's just, but have you played one? No, it's not my type of game.
Yeah.
And what you can. So I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I would like variety. But it's kind of like sometimes it's one of those things is nailing down exactly what you mean by variety is quite a hard thing to do. It's kind of like I know in my head what I mean, but sometimes to vocalize it, verbally put it the thing you like. They need like a Fable or a Fallout of their own type thing, something that's very Western RPG, something that's fun. You can have something that's a bit more gritty with a Fallout. Who knows?
Yeah, fair enough. Vin, what's your thoughts on both the Microsoft portfolio going forward and what Sony need to add to their portfolio going forward to diversify? I think diversification is kind of the key word for this generation going forwards.
Yeah. Well, if you ask me, Xbox needs the Japanese games.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, they're getting some, but, if you look at the Xbox 360, you have the Lost Odyssey, you have Blue Dragon.
Yeah.
I hope they get a studio to work on or buy a studio to work on one of those titles,
Yeah.
On the OG Xbox, you had Sudeki, you had Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon on the 360. I think that's the most important genre for Xbox to extend to. And if you look at PlayStation, it's like you guys already said, the first person or the third person shooter. And I don't know. I think at this moment PlayStation is playing it safe for some reason. They had
Because they do well with it. It makes them money.
Yeah.
I know, but if you some of the really really great games, are PlayStation branded. If you look at RPG side, you have Dark Cloud. That game was really really brilliant. They should make a new one for that as well, or at least a remaster. You have SOCOM, like I said. If they want a shooter or a tactical shooter, you have SOCOM. Come on, why not bring it back?
Mhm.
Depends if they've got the devs for it though, because obviously the SOCOM team aren't going to be. You might have some devs still within the PlayStation as abroad, but you won't have them all working together. They would have disbanded. They would have gone other places.
Yeah.
I know, but I mean, if you're Sony, you can still gather a team to make it, right? I mean, Twisted Metal is coming back. I'm
It's
really
not-
happy with
well,
that.
It depends on what people are doing. It's not just a case of Bob was really good at on SOCOM. We'll go get him back, and he's but Bob's really enjoying his job at
Yeah.
this place doing it. It's not quite as easy as to get the
I-
talent.
No.
Especially for something like SOCOM, which is very very niche in its presentation. It's not like your typical Call of Duty. So it's a very tactical game.
Yeah.
They should, if they were to do that, they should try and hire kind of Ubisoft Rainbow Six devs. They
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
probably be able to do a really good, or even contract out
Yeah.
Ubisoft.
You're right. Yeah, contract them out, just like Xbox are doing with Perfect Dark and Crystal Dynamics. Contract out a lot of the work. It makes sense. Sometimes to team up for these things. I completely agree.
Well, Crystal Dynamics, you name a good one, because my wife is really worried about Tom Brady now.
I wouldn't be worried about it. It's going to happen. I think they're just taking a well-deserved break from it because the previous trilogy was great. And obviously, you don't want to just overdo it with the same stuff for a long time. You want to give it a little bit of breathing space before you return to the IP. So they're just taking a little bit of a break from it. I don't blame them.
There's plenty of IPs on both sides, that need recovering.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. There's a lot of IPs they both have that they're not doing with that would do well if reimagined.
And I think that's the only problem I have with PlayStation. I as you know, I ordered the PlayStation 5, but the only problem I have is that we are now getting The Last of Us remake, remastered, of the remaster, remake, definitive edition, director's cut. But there's plenty of games that need one. I mean, I'm happy that Suikoden is now going on as Ayuden Chronicles, but it's coming to Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah.
Oh, my brother's going to be all over that.
And
same for me. Same for me, Sean. It's and it's Game Pass Day 1, so it's going to be Xbox for me. And most games I will play on Xbox instead of PlayStation, but there's so much IPs that deserve more love than just the same rebranding stuff.
They do, but you also have to look at, because they deserve that love, they also deserve a developer that actually wants to make that. If you haven't got a developer making it, wanting to actively make it, then there's no point.
Yeah.
I get that, but Sean, you're completely right with that. But the problem is it's all about the money these days. I mean, that you have these games, Final Fantasy sells, right?
Yeah.
But PlayStation has this Dark Cloud IP. It's stuck in their vault, or however you say it. But that was really, really a great game if you're a fan of the genre. But Sony is taking less risk, with the games they produce, and just focus on some hardcore titles. And I think that's not good. I mean, I bought a PlayStation 5 for it, don't get me wrong, because I want Horizon Forbidden West, I want Forspoken, I want Final Fantasy 16, I want Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2. But
you just want to see them take more risks going forward, even with older IPs.
Yeah, but it's the same for Xbox, don't get me wrong. It's the same for Xbox. I want Rise Son of Rome 2. I want a new Sudeki. I want a new Lost Odyssey. There's so many games. Even Brute Force. It was actually a great game.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It didn't sell well, but
Yeah.
Do you?
You know-
I kind of disagree though. I don't think going back to old IP is taking a risk, because you look at the IP that's done well and you go, all right, I'll do that. That's not taking a risk. Actually making new IPs, which Sony are very good at. Sony are very good at making new IP.
yeah, but
I
Sean,
think
if
that's more of a risk.
you look at Days Gone, even the director said, we sold like what was it, 50 million,
Yeah.
but it wasn't enough.
10 million.
10 million. But
The
that's
problem Sony have is it's their I can't remember the word, the business term for optics. It's the optics of Metacritic. They are so invested in Metacritic and how well that does, because Days Gone had a bit of a rocky launch. Although the game now is okay, it's pretty decent. It's been fixed.
yeah.
You had people falling through the floor, getting stuck in things, and this wasn't just a few people; it was all over the internet. And what did it get? Like a 76 or something on Meta?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
usually look at the meta.
That's a death knell for stuff. And I know people kind of go, well, look at Sackboy, look at the budget of Sackboy versus the budget of a Days Gone.
Yeah.
And development time and things like that, and the fact that it was Cerny's pet project.
Yeah.
Not Sackboy.
Little
Knack.
Big Planet?
Sorry, Knack.
Knack,
Knack.
yeah.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Knack 1 and 2.
Neck. Yeah, Neck.
So there is room for a couple of bad ones, but then when you have a look at The Order 1886, that got dropped
Oh god, yeah.
quicker than a hot coal. You know what I mean? So
And that had potential.
they are very much. I enjoyed that. My only criticism for that game was it was too short.
Mhm.
Everything else I really enjoyed and was gutted.
Yeah,
that
that's
it
what you
didn't
read
have
the most. Yeah.
Didn't have a sequel. So yeah, Sony seems to be very optic orientated, and to an extent, I think Xbox were. I think they gave up on the. My brain's gone. Thingy. Insomniac. What's Insomniac's game?
Ratchet.
Sunset Overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive. Thank you. Yeah, they gave up on that way too quick.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
They gave up on Quantum Break way too quick. But then again, we're looking at the Xbox of the
Rise Son of Rome.
2013, 2014. Yeah. And even with Phil Spencer in charge, he still had Terry Myerson holding the purse strings. I think that both those games would probably have got greenlit had we been in the situation now. It may have been a case of, right, well, this one needs to hit home. But other than that, it's yeah.
But you know what the weird thing is for me, and that's something I still think about. They said, we won't continue the series because it didn't sell well, right? But 2 years later or 3 years later, I think it was, you get Game Pass. But did Rise Son of Rome, Quantum Break, Sunset Overdrive still do that bad that you don't want a new game? And I mean, even Sunset Overdrive, you let Sony buy Insomniac for 200 million. If you look at the amount of money they spend today on studios, there's nothing.
Yeah. I mean, it's a deal of the century. We know that.
Yeah.
It's comment from the chat there, Pixelbit, and then followed by Insanity. Pixelbit G says Sony literally doesn't make any RPGs. To be fair, not at least full fat ones. They should also have a less sim racer, so more of a casual racing game. And I can see, I can see a place for that, of course, with Horizon, Forza Horizon versus Forza Motorsport, two different sections of racing gamers and even casuals for one and hardcore for the other. There is a place in the market for it, and no doubt they've seen the success of Horizon and thought that's something we could look at. I agree on that one. It does make it more accessible.
Me too. But you should make Drive Club 2 then, to be honest.
And then Insanity Games says a modern version of Legend of Dragoon would be pretty cool.
Oh, yes. Yes. We
have to agree there. But this has been an absolutely awesome show. Knocking on 3 hours now. We had some awesome guests on today to talk about both acquisitions and obviously the future pipelines of both companies and what we expect from them going forwards. Of course, the trio are remaining, and myself, Sham, and Vin, to see out the end of this show. Thank you to everybody who tuned in today. Again, just to kind of announce, of course, this podcast was presented by Manscaped, our brand new sponsor, our first big sponsor for the channel. So shout out to them. Of course, if you weren't aware, you can get 20% off at Manscaped with free shipping using the promo code MWMU at manscaped.com. So thank you again for everybody tuning in today. Let's get to the outros for our final two panel members and myself here. First of all, Shambhalon, thank you, brother, for hanging in there for the full 3 hours today. Let people know, of course, what you're going to be up to and what you're going to be playing.
I have a shit ton of reading to do for this weekend, and then I got to start writing. I've got to start writing a 3,000 word essay. I need to get half of that done this weekend.
3,000 words?
Mm-hmm. That's nothing. That's nothing. My dissertation was like 12,500, and that's not including the appendix or anything else.
Wow.
So yeah, it's pretty much mainly uni work's going to be going on this. I'll take a bit of time out because I tend to burn out if I do too much. So I might do like an hour or two, then play game, watch a TV show for half an hour, then go back in or something like
that. Yeah, that's awesome.
But when are you finished then, Sham?
End of May.
Oh, it's not too bad.
Okay.
Too bad.
Bad. So after the summer we have you back.
Depends on what I'm doing. Because if I pass my course, then probably. If I fail my course, I'm probably going to be moving abroad.
Fair one.
Is it certain now?
Hey?
Is it certain now that you
want to move abroad?
Certain what? Oh, well, I'll have to. My wife's got a job in Korea starting August.
Oh.
So.
Oh, really?
Okay. So yeah, I'll be.
Can I say congrats then or not already?
Can what?
Can I congratulate you already then or?
No, I don't know if I passed my course or not. So I don't find that out until early June, I think. Well, actually, no, I'll find out in May. It won't be official until early June, but I'll know by then. So either way, I'll either be staying here and teaching in a primary school, or I'll be moving abroad teaching English somewhere else.
Okay, awesome stuff. That's
some
big
the house.
Yeah.
It is. Well, the house I live in at the moment is connected to my wife's contract, which I'll then have to kind of take because it's to do with the council.
Right.
So where I live, it's for people working for the council.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's some big moves going on then. Big moves.
Well, you stay with us, right? Even if you go to Korea, you still be with us, right?
It depends on because like the
hours,
like 8 hours in front. Yeah. So I mean, it might be just a case of I can do it, but I might only be able to do once a month because I'll have to get up at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Or something like that. You know.
Shit.
So it might be more of I'm a rolling guest, shall we say?
Yes. Yeah.
No.
So we'll have to see.
Oh, Sham, don't do this to us.
Hey, careers are careers. It's awesome to hear that. Obviously, it's going after something that he's been working so hard to do. So obviously, would never.
Yeah.
This podcast will never stand in the way of that. That'd be awesome to see if you do manage to get it though, and do that. That'd be awesome. I know it's a dream for yourself to teach in any capacity, whether that be in the UK in primary schools or whether that be over in Korea, teaching English. So, congrats either way, because I know you'll do brilliant.
Yeah.
Brother.
Same for me. So.
Cheers. But you can find me at Shambhalon on Twitter and Xbox. If you're going to add me on Xbox, tell me, because I've got so many people on Xbox now that I'm kind of like, I don't know who this is.
Yeah.
Or if you change your name, if you change your name, this is one thing that really irritates me. Xbox should have a thing that tells you what their previous gamer tag was or
Yeah,
their
yeah,
history
yeah.
of gamer tags, because it irritates me when I look at someone and go, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
And then you send them a message going, oh, no, it's that. And it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Or just give you if someone changes their name, just send everyone that they're connected with a little inbox message saying such and such has changed their name to this, and you go,
Yeah,
"Oh, brilliant,
yeah,
thank
exactly.
you." So now I know
Yeah.
who it is. But yes, Vin, brother, let people know what you're going to be up to and what you're going to be playing coming up this week.
Well, I'm gonna finish the Nobody Saves the World.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Awesome.
really enjoying that game. And on PlayStation, I'll be playing Horizon Zero Dawn. Well, the rest is full of work, unfortunate. And my
Yes.
father goes into surgery, so I won't be playing that much, I think.
Yeah.
But those are the two games I'm focusing on right now.
Awesome stuff. And where can people
And then
find
you can
as
find
well?
me on Twitter, Xbox, PlayStation, Twitch, Instagram, Midweek Mixer podcast. Everywhere
Yes,
as
and occasionally on Xbox NL.
yeah, occasionally. But Rick, if you're watching, I want to apologize for forgetting the to join the Sea of Thieves Tavern show 3 times.
Oh dear.
So I will tune in one day, and we spoke about that. So
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff.
and that's about it. So where can we find you, Drew?
Yes, as always, you can find me here at Wondering Dutch, the home of the Midweek Mix-Up. Of course, every Wednesday and now every Sunday as well. On Sundays, of course, it's myself and the General C covering the smaller news and wrapping up essentially all the things we don't cover in the big one on a Sunday late afternoon. That's a much more relaxed show, but if you want a nice wind down on a Sunday afternoon, feel free to join us there. Of course, we like to just chill out and
But
have
I
some fun.
still get timeouts then.
You still get timeouts. Yeah, you'll always get timeouts. Other than that, you can find me, of course, on Twitter at Wandering Dutch, on Xbox or at Wandering Dutch, thanks to abbreviations. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's been an awesome show again this evening with some awesome guests. I hope you all have a great night. Go and enjoy some games if it's early enough for yourselves, or enjoy your sleep or whatever you're doing for the remainder of your night. Have a great one, and we shall see you all next week. Goodbye.
And shave those balls.
Yeah, shave the balls. See you later, guys.
Ta-ta.